What an absolutely horrible day to be Jack and Tifa. So, if you didn't read along in our
Discord
misery blog on Discord, no, it starts earlier actually. So, 2 days ago we mentioned on stream that I mentioned on stream because Tifa informed me about this because I was streaming solo because this one was pooping a lot.
Yeah, after you gave me food poisoning.
I did no such thing. Okay, so let's start over again. Wednesday I had made dinner. It didn't agree with Tifa's stomach, so she was busy pooping. I did a solo stream. During one of her breaks, Tifa informed me that our washing machine was broken. It just made the following sound when you turn it on. So that happened. Then you do not need help. And we do need help, yes. Somebody to fix our lives, but not from me. Then Tifa was so kind yesterday to look for a company that can drop by and last minute, short notice kind of deal, fix our washing machine because we do have laundry. The first conundrum yesterday, because Tifa was running out of shirts, I did a whole load of laundry by hand. I just dumped everything into our bathtub because thankfully we have one. It's a bathtub shower combination kind of thing.
For the first thing in 10 years, that thing's been handy.
Yeah. Dumped all the laundry washing stuff in there, hot water, went through it by hand, rinsed it, wrung it out. That was so bad on my hands that I ripped the skin out from under my thumbnail. So that's slightly annoying, but I'll live. It's fine. I've had this before. I will survive.
He will not live. He's informed me of his boo-boo like...
I have boo-boo.
3 to 4 times a day.
Per minute.
I was being nice to you.
No, let's be honest. I'm complaining a lot. Anyway, so I have this. Thankfully, Tifa found somebody that's like, yeah, sure, we can come by Friday morning. We'll be there between 9 and noon, so a 3-hour time window. Today happens, we both inform our colleagues that we might be out of things because, you know, people for the laundry thing. 12:15, we get a call. Yeah, sorry, we're late. We'll be there in 10 minutes. The guy shows up, looks at the thing, does all the steps we did. Google the error message our washing machine shows, then explains to us what we explained to them, why we needed them to drop by. He was basically mansplaining to the two of us. And told us, yeah, it happens because at some point you probably put in too much laundry into the thing, and then through the movement the sensor got like knocked and now it doesn't lock properly. That's why the machine doesn't turn on. Cool. We can fix this. It's $200. That's what he said.
Yeah.
200. And Tifa and I argued about this before, and Tifa was like, I don't want to pay more than $100 for this. And I'm thinking, I agree with
Before this guy came, we said, depending on the price, we'll just decide on whether we will fix it or just buy a new one. A new one is roughly like $450 if you don't want AI and Wi-Fi.
Which I do not want. And I do not want that in my washing machine.
Washing machines. I told Jack, if it's 100, maybe a little bit over or under, we can fix it. Otherwise, let's just buy a new one. So then this dude comes. He said $240, by the way.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, he got into my head by going like, well, I just came from 2 customers who have newer models than you and theirs broke after just a few years. So if yours has lasted you 10 years, you might want to invest more into this.
So he comes with the wholesale stock and then goes like, yeah, it would be $240 and a new one is like $600, as you probably know.
I looked at one yesterday and the one I found, including delivery, installation and taking the old one back, was $500.
Yeah, because they have the whole fancy shit.
No, I looked at the cheap ones.
Like, just a normal one is like $450. So Jack was completely convinced and he's like, yeah, we'll do it.
No, I didn't say that. No. You're not getting out that easily.
No. Okay, fine.
No.
Okay, fine.
I looked at you and I was like, what do you think? I didn't say yes. I didn't say I'm okay with it. But I said, what do you think?
I said we shouldn't.
No, you stumbled as well.
Yeah, but I said we shouldn't. I stumbled, but I did say we shouldn't, and then you were like, yeah, but a new one's gonna be more expensive.
Which is true.
Like, yes, that is true. And then I was like, I think we should think about this. Are you sure? But then he was like, no, we're gonna do it. So you already told the guy we'll do it. And then I went along with it.
I just want to do my laundry.
I shouldn't have. That was my mistake. I shouldn't have gone along with that and just put my foot down, because that's where the shitstorm started.
That is true. Everything that happens from now on is 100% Tifa's fault. So he's like, okay, cool. I'll take it out now. I'll call my colleague. We take it along. Takes 2 to 3 business days. Then no. Tifa, not Jack. This is her fault.
Like we said, $100. This dude comes with double the price. Yeah, just do it. And then I made it worse. I was like, well, if we're gonna replace this thing anyway, I saw you have like this cleaning service. I have not done an Entkalkungsprogramm thing on that washing machine in 10 years. So if I'm gonna have our washing machine fixed, I might as well have them clean it too, to ensure that it probably lasts longer. And
Tifa was like, just give it the spa treatment, please.
That was an extra $70.
Maybe put some cucumbers on the face, rub some yogurt on it or something to moisturize.
That was an extra $70, and they will also replace the filters. And if they notice something has too much caulk in it, they will replace it as well for that price. So I'm like, fine, we're already...
So now we're at 310.
We're already spending a fortune now anyway.
Now, instead of, if it's $100 we'll do it, we're at 310 on the bill. So he, because we have like this little like sideboard thing where the washing machine is pushed into, so he gets it out, removes the cables, the pipes. I had turned off the cold water main, and he pulls the pipe, the hose off of it, and there's still water dripping out of it. He's like, you did close it, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes to double check. It's closed. He's like, well, then you have a problem, because that means the valve under your sink is not working because there is water still coming out of the hose. I'm like, so what do I do about that? He's like, well, you can fix this yourself if you know what to do. I'm like, I do not. I can call people and I can pay the bill. That's the extent of my abilities when it comes to this. And same for Tifa. No shade, we're both really bad at these things. He's like, okay, well, I can fix it. We have a flat fee for this, it's $40. I just replace the vent in the valve and then it's brand new, basically. Do you want me to do that? I'm like, well, what's the alternative? He's like, well, the alternative is that you put this hose in a bucket, and then every 30 minutes to an hour, when the bucket is full, you drain it. But there's water coming out of this, so you kind of need to make a choice now. Whatever, put it on the tab, fix it. It's like, okay, cool, I have the parts. He spends 30 minutes cursing under his breath under our sink. Hello! Like, I go back because I'm not the kind of person that stands next to the handymen and handy ladies when they do their work, because I imagine that's annoying. Like, yeah, what is it? Can I help? He's like, yeah, I can't fix it. I don't have the right vent we need to put into the valve. This is a 30-year-old thing and they don't make these anymore. I don't have them. You need a proper plumber. I'm a water guy. You need a specialist.
So basically it's all broken and he just goes like, well, this is where you call your Hausmeister. Or your
janitor. I'm like, I don't have his number. I go outside, I find the leaflet with his number, I call the number, nobody picks up. I come back inside, I'm like, well...
Then he tries to blame the mistake on the janitor, because the janitor should be available and pick up.
Which is true.
I mean, that is true, but that was not his fault.
That's true, yeah. He's like, well, get in touch with your landlord, have somebody, because you cannot turn the cold water back on. You have hot water, but you don't have cold water. 2 different pipes for that. Okay, I'm freaking out already. So we wave off a guy, he gives me the bill, it's... $389 suddenly. Now we're looking at $400.
I didn't see that bill yet, because otherwise I would have taken my washing machine back.
I signed it because at this point I don't care anymore. Like my mind is somewhere else. My brain is scattered, my day is ruined, whatever. Because
that was way more than we agreed on.
when Tifa calls the company, she's like, so the guy said something about 240 plus like 70, that's 310. Why is the bill 400? And when they explained to her
that was the price excluding VAT, and now you still had to pay the 19% VAT with it. This dude did not say that, but he did say something about plus, apparently, that I didn't hear, but Jack heard. So, okay, I completely missed that. That's on me.
So, in Germany, we have a VAT. The German version is called the Mehrwertsteuer. Anything you buy, any service you pay for, you pay a tax on. Yes, basically, a value adjustment tax, VAT in English. And he told me it's 210, that's the price, plus taxes. So,
see, he did say plus taxes.
So, I thought when he says that's the price plus taxes, he meant it's an inclusive plus. It's 210 for the service, including the tax. I misunderstood apparently. If you're wondering, Jack, why are you so dumb? Because normally in any media, any bill I've ever seen, any price announcements I've ever seen, it says price including VAT. Not plus, but including. The opposite of that is price excluding, not minus. So the plus confused me, and I think that prick did it on purpose. Not the point. So now we're looking at
rip you off.
$400 to get our washing machine fixed.
Remind you, the new one I had seen was $450. So for $50 more, I could have just had a brand new washing machine at this point.
But it's still a gamble.
No broken pipes, probably. But
true. But it's still a gamble because the new one could just break too. You know, those things happen. We don't know. Anyway, that's me coping. That's me trying to make better what is a shitty situation. Anyway, so now we're both trying to work, but we don't have cold water. So I'm freaking out. Tifa is...
Jack's like, I gotta pee.
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't poison Tifa today, so she didn't have to poop a lot.
Oh, thank God.
So Tifa, because I'm having a nervous breakdown, I'm useless in these situations, I'm freaking out first. Tifa Googles around, finds a number. I'm like, I need to tell our landlord because she needs to fix this. So I frantically look for my landlord's number, which I have somewhere, I don't know where. Eventually I find it. I give Tifa the phone because I had to go into a work meeting that was important. Tifa calls our landlord and...
Line that.
This number is currently not available.
Of course it isn't.
Alright.
Why would it be, right?
Cool. I send landlady an email like, hey, we live here. This is what just happened. We need you to urgently send somebody. An hour later, no call, no text, no email reply.
So we start looking for a plumber.
Since you haven't gotten back to us yet, we're looking at a plumber ourselves. Tifa found...
Getting a plumber on Saturday would have been even more expensive.
Yes. Tifa found an emergency number, so...
Oh no, it wasn't an emergency number. It was a standard plumber thing.
Yeah, but around the clock, so...
Oh.
Emergency number.
Fair enough.
Here's where it becomes futuristic. This story is not done for a long shot. Sorry, it gets much worse.
We're at the halfway marker.
Yeah, we're reaching the climax of the shittiness, though. Spoilers. So I call the number, and eventually a person picks up. And the person on the other end of a line sounds weird. I soon find out it's an AI voice bot. And the AI voice goes, please state your issue. So I'm like, well, this just happened. The AI voice bot replies, okay, I understood it's about this issue. Is that correct? Please confirm. Yes, that is correct.
I gotta say it was pretty good.
That worked beautifully. Please state your full address, your name, a phone number we can reach you under. These are our details. We charge $150 just to show up, plus material costs and whatever else happens. Do you accept this? Yes. Okay, I've checked. Somebody's available. They will be with you within an hour. Is there anything else you need? I'm like, no, thank you, bye. I hang up.
So Skynet, what's Skynet?
Terminator, when the AI takes over. Not by shooting us, but destroying our psyche with shitty customer support. The customer support was amazing. That was beautiful. I've never used an AI voice bot like this before. It all seemed to work just fine. An hour passes and I have not received anything. Nobody rang the doorbell, nobody called. I call the number again. This time, a human picks up.
They probably recognized that you're a repeat caller.
I don't know. So I'm like, hey, I called an hour ago and I think I spoke to this AI system. They said somebody would be here within an hour or get back to me. I haven't heard anything yet. He's like, oh shit. Oh, I'm so sorry, that was you. Yeah, we saw that. It didn't create the task, so nobody has been ordered yet. Could you give me the details again and I will try to get someone to you ASAP? Fuck AI. Fuck it. Fuck it hard. Anyway, I'm like, yes, of course. So this is what happened. This is my address. This is my details. Yes, I accept all of your policies, conditions, and terms. Please send somebody.
Anybody.
He's like, okay, well, I'll get back to you. Then you can discuss the details with a plumber. I'm like, yes, please. 20 minutes later, plumber guy calls. He's like, yeah, tell me the story. So now the third time I'm telling the story. He's like, yeah, no, we can fix this. No worries. I'll be on my way. But I have 2 more clients before you, so it will be 2.5 hours until I get there.
We can survive that. That was like 5:30 basically.
It's not the end of the world, I understand. I'm not the only customer they have. Okay, cool. Yes, please. He shows up 45 minutes earlier than he said he would. I'm super thankful. I want to kiss his feet as he comes in. He comes in, I show him a thing. He's like, oh yeah, that's an easy fix. Let me have a look. Yeah, no, everything still looks good. I just need to replace this part. But because it's an old part, I need to go get it. He shoves off again. 30 minutes later, shows up again with a part. He's like, yeah, I'll just quickly install it when I'm done.
And I doop-de-doop, easy fix, I can do this.
And
I'll be out in a moment.
Then I just stand with Tifa, who's still working at this point, debating work stuff. And we can hear him curse.
Yeah, it took like 10 minutes, but there was a lot of
cursing.
Sailor speak.
A lot of muttering, cursing to himself.
So we go check.
And when I go check on him, I'm like, everything alright? He's like, no, it doesn't fit. It's the right part. He showed me both parts and they looked identical to me. He's like, but there's a tiny plate in there and the old one is smaller, but they don't make these anymore. I cannot replace it. I'm like, can you just replace the whole thing?
Funny thing is, at the beginning, he gave us the 2 options. Either I just replace this little part, or I replace the whole thing, but I suggest replacing the little part. And we were like, well, yeah,
and I was like,
only replace
do
that.
whatever. I don't care anymore. Please, I just want water.
And I was like, well, I guess I'll replace everything after all.
Yes, I'll need to get the part. Again. So he goes outside again, goes to his car, comes back with a thing, installs it. 10 minutes later, he's done. Starts writing the bill.
10 minutes later.
15. It didn't take long.
He spent over half an hour.
Didn't feel like it. For me, time is a blur. Eventually, he comes back, he installs a thing, he starts writing the bill, I'm just chatting with him.
Suddenly, I'm sitting in the other room and suddenly $500! I'm like, fucking shit.
And he's like, actually, I'm not done yet. 595 euros. Okay. Yeah. I'll get the money back from my landlord.
You hope.
I will. Stop saying that. She has to pay for this. It's literally part of the terms and conditions of our rental contract.
I'll see it first.
Can somebody shut her off, please, with this shit? Anyway. I want to pay by card. He has a little terminal thing, and it doesn't accept my card. Because it doesn't connect to the internet. He has 4 bars, it's a mobile little terminal, it doesn't work. So we try again, doesn't work. Try again, doesn't work. I'm like, if I can't pay you now because your terminal doesn't work, are you gonna rip out what you just installed. He's laughing. I escort him outside the apartment building, hoping that his little thing gets reception. We take one step outside the building, it connects to the internet, I can pay.
So Jack comes back inside and like 3-4 minutes later, the doorbell rings again. It's Mr. Plumber.
I'm like, oh no, please don't tell me what's wrong? He's like, yeah, because of how our company does this, you only paid for the services now, you still need to pay for the materials. I don't understand why that's 2 transactions.
No, he forgot to put it on there. That was his thing.
That's what it is.
He even said, I forgot to...
Yeah, fair. So I walk out with him again, pay him for the other part, and then he leaves. And now, shortly before stream, I sent an email to our landlady informing her that I couldn't reach her. As I told her, would get a plumber. I did. And that I very much look forward to receiving my refund of $595 to my account. We spent a lot of money today for effectively nothing. Tifa?
Yeah, not just today. This week has been... I don't think I spent this much money in a week in a long time. We bought the Switches.
Switch 2s.
The Switch 2s.
That's true.
I also pre-ordered the Amiibos.
That...
I bought like 2 books before all of this.
And now I paid $1,000 just to have working water and a laundry machine again.
$1,000, excuse me, like 1,500?
Can you not do
No,
math?
sorry, not 1,500.
What's 310 plus 600?
Yeah.
Not 1,500.
No, you're right.
That's not how numbers work.
In my mind, you said half of a price for only the plumbing.
No.
So yeah, it's been a fun day.
Yes, and when Tifa was like, you know what, I don't feel like streaming, can we not? And I'm like, no.
There's still water in the kitchen, which is under the thing now, so I just threw towels over it. The house
we forgot the last part.
The house smells like 6 different types of tobacco.
And cologne.
And cologne, because all of them are heavy smokers.
And heavy cologne users.
I mean, that is fine, but it's lingering.
Yeah, shockingly lingering. I forgot the best part. So,
what was the best part?
Underneath our sink lives a demon. When they set up this apartment many decades ago, way before we moved in, they installed a sink in the kitchen. And it's all built in. It's like a sideboard kind of thing with a sink. And if you open the drawer under the sink where you can see the pipes, I cannot maybe I'll upload a picture on Discord. It's hard to explain, but the pipes don't make sense. There are pipes in shapes that I don't think should be there. Every single person, every professional we ever had look at this, every plumber we ever had in here was like, what the fuck is this? And I could just shrug because I didn't build that.
It's a weird construction.
I'm not gonna touch it. I will replace it. I'll have it replaced if it ever needs. MC Ashes plumbing. Yes, effectively. Water goes down to go up, to go down, to go up again.
Yeah, it's a very weird system. Like, for example, the washing machine. First have to pump the water up. Then it needs to go through this U sort of form where it goes down. Then needs to be pumped up and through a T-shaped pipe needs to be pushed to the side. Otherwise it ends back up in our sink.
And then does a C shape back to the left. It makes no sense.
It's a nightmare, but...
I'm not a plumber, but plumbers have told me it makes no sense. So I assume it doesn't make sense. The problem of our plumbing is, it's like a Jenga tower. If you fart too hard in our kitchen, the vibrations going through the air will touch a pipe and it will spring a leak. Because of the angles they are at, there is unnecessary stress on some of the pipes. And if they just move a hair's width, it starts to leak. And that happened again. It's very tiny. We will survive. Tifa was cursing up a storm. Get the guy back! I'm like, he's in his car already.
We
Call him!
just paid.
I don't have his phone number.
$600 and then we don't get that fixed.
2 different issues, Will.
That doesn't matter. He was here already. Now if we get someone else again, we're gonna have to pay all of that shit again. But Jack's like, I can fix it. I can do this myself. I'm a pro plumber now.
This is what Tifa keeps forgetting. We've had this exact same issue 3 times while living here already, and every single time we fixed it. How do you fix it?
If it keeps coming back, it's not fixed.
How do you fix it, you might ask, if you're not Tifa? You take copious amounts of stuff to isolate pipes, and you put it in the right spots to create the right amount of pressure so that the pipes don't leak. And if you have to do all of this while holding your breath. And if you look too hard, you might move a pipe slightly and then it just leaks again. So tomorrow I will treat Tifa to breakfast. And then afterwards we'll go past a hardware store, because the last time we did pipe stuff, I went through all the isolation tape and stuff we had. So I'll buy new stuff. And I'll, insulate, isolate. I make sure water doesn't come out anymore. I will do that. And then I will clean up around it. And then I will mop the apartment, because all the nice people coming to visit us today walked through here with their dirty street shoes.
I want dinner for breakfast.
Everything will be fine. Mwah. Okay? And you don't have to take care of anything. You just have to eat and wait in the living room while I fix things and look cute. Do you think you can do that for me?
I can probably do that. One thing though, I think I should become a plumber and you should become a washing machine repair guy, because I think that will really work well for your immune system.
No.
I kid you not. This dude pulls out the washing machine after he put dishwashing soap all over our floor. He just grabs the dishwashing soap, goes like bloop bloop bloop. It's like, yeah, so I can pull it out easier. Like, okay,
yeah, that makes sense.
He didn't say anything, he just grabbed it and pulled it over
He
the floor.
lubricated the floor.
I'm like, fine. But he pulls out the washing machine, takes out all of the pipes or cables behind it. He just grabs it and goes then he grabs the other one and he's like
yeah,
he actually puts it in his mouth and blows.
Yeah,
and then the water started coming out of our sink, but that's a different story.
Yeah, he pushed, instead of draining the water from one of the hoses, he pushed it back. And I've done things like this before, where you place your mouth on your hand, you make a circle, you go... No! He grabbed the hose, he made a fist around the hose and then went... We could see the hose water on his lips.
This guy must never get sick.
I don't want washing machine hose water anywhere near my face. If I do that, I don't have a face tomorrow. All that being said, thank you all for sitting through what I believe to be the longest monologue we've ever had. Happy Friday, everybody.
I'm not sure about that, but...
Happy Friday. Welcome in Psycho. Welcome in Skinner. Congrats on being first, second, and third. How are you all doing?
I hope you had a better Friday than we did.
Now that we have spent well over 25 minutes telling you all about ours.
And also, how are we even gonna get our washing machine back, by the way?
They deliver it.
When? How are they gonna let us know?
They said they would call to
Will they?
discuss an appointment
Oh,
when
okay.
they can come by and deliver it.
I'm not paying until I get my washing machine back, by the way. He's like, oh, do you got cash? No.
No, I do not have $400 laying around, sorry.
No, I got the $5 we agreed we have to pay up front in cash.
Yeah, it's...
I can give you that.
It was all slightly weird. But effectively, they've taken our washing machine hostage.
It kind of feels hostage, and honestly, it felt like a scam as well, because then when I tried to call them to complain about the invoice, which we now have to pay anyway, the website was offline. And it felt like such a scam.
Scam.
First, they make us pay $380 when I could have just gotten a new one for this price. Then the moment they kidnap our washing machine, who I have now called Bob, the website is offline. Like, how much more scam points do you need?
None. Less. Like, I would prefer less scam points on the scam scale.
Like, this is where they just put everything offline and run off with your money and then start over somewhere else. After 5 minutes, the site worked again, but still, regardless.
Didn't feel great.
Yeah, it did not.
Also, Psycho said, when I travel with my plumbing, I never paid a cent, but then again, I rent from a company. The previous times, same, because our landlady took care of it. She sent somebody.
Privately is the worst thing we have ever done.
Yeah. I cannot recommend it. I know plenty of people that rent through a private owner and it works beautifully, but it's not my experience. To me, it's the worst mistake I've ever made when it came to moving out.
Yeah, I think we told plenty of stories about that already, where in the majority of cases we almost broke up because of our landlord coming in between, technically.
Over the stress that caused,
It was absolutely horrible. And if there's no problem, I mean, it took a year for there to be no problem because of all of the renovation crap. Yeah. But when there was no problem, it was fine. But if there is a problem, you're fucked.
Yeah, can't reach my landlady. Like, you know, under normal circumstances, I don't mind just sending her an email. I don't want to call her. I hate that. But if I need water, it's like, you know, I need help now.
It sucks that it's on a Friday too, because you don't want to get a plumber in the weekend, because then they add like $300 to the bill just for coming in the weekend.
None of that is my problem.
No, but still.
I as a renter should be able to offload that task to the people who own this place. But if I can't reach them, you know, then I'll do it myself.
But yeah, private renting sucks, but we were looking for an apartment for like 1.5 years.
Yeah, and we literally took the one we were able to.
This was the one
and only offer we got. So we took it.
And we went to so many visitings, we sent in so many applications.
And the situation only got worse, both with rent increasing like 50% since we moved in here. Not our rent, but rent everywhere else in Germany, basically, going up 50% on average in the last 10 years. Yeah. Plus, there are no apartments. There just aren't enough.
There really aren't.
You're gonna wait 3-4 years trying to find something.
The problem is also we looked more in neighborhoods that are more quiet, family friendly. So the moment someone with a kid showed up, it's like, yeah, bye.
Yeah, of course, which makes sense. You know, people who have more of a need for certain houses and apartments should get them. I get that. But that doesn't change the fact that I need to live somewhere too. You know?
I think the only reason we were lucky to get this one is because I remember visiting this place.
And I asked the realtor, the people showing you the place. I'm like, can I bribe the landlord? Because
no. There were plenty of people who actually complained about this place, because I can still share pictures of the bathroom. That was absolutely horrible. Yeah. And that's where our problem started, because the moment we moved in, the bathroom had to be renovated.
Yep.
So the majority of people already rejected it because of that. And I think we were also one of the first people to hand in our paperwork. Like, we came with the whole file.
Yeah, we're like, please, apartment.
All of the 100 documents you have to hand in when you want to play.
And literally, I asked the realtor, can I bribe somebody because I want to move? Like,
I wish we would know.
Again, I didn't. Well, usually we don't have issues. It's just days like these suck extra hard.
Yeah.
You know? It's fine, Tifa. We can fix this. It will be better tomorrow. And next week. Must be some kind of survivor's guilt hearing these stories. No need. Don't feel bad. Just laugh at our misery. That's why we tell them.
The best thing to laugh about out of all of the misery stories we've had with our landlord, I think, was the year we got a rent increase. And it was a posted on our mailbox a post-it.
No, the post-it was on the ground. It had fallen down.
It had fallen off, but it was clear he had put it on our mailbox. In the hallway,
where
on the
everybody
outside
can see.
of the mailbox, a post-it saying that we had to pay, what was it, like 2.6% extra rent.
We had to pay like 3% or something like that more. And it just said, hello, no names, just hello. Starting January, your rent increases by 5.2%.
It was
something
like
2.6. Something like that.
And
please,
his name.
Please make sure to adjust your payment.
That was not all on it. That wasn't that long. It just said rent increase per January, 2.6%, and his signature and name under it. That's why we knew it was for us.
And I found the note and I threw it away.
Not even like, oh, you need to pay this, like calculate yourself how much increase it was. I think we still have that posted somewhere.
I think I actually did throw it away.
Did you?
I don't recall. But I think we took a picture and we even asked like a lawyer about this. And the lawyer too was like, don't pay this. Like, there's a way these things need to be done. You need to receive it in written form. A letter or an email would be fine. It needs to be addressed to you. They need to tell you what the new total is.
It's a minimum.
You can't just go do X%. Like, you don't calculate this. Your landlord has to tell you what money they're supposed to receive from you and when and why. And there are rules to this. And if all the rules aren't applied, if all of the check marks aren't done, then this is ineffective. So what you should do is just throw this away. And that's what we did.
Yeah, not paying to do math exactly. But yeah, renting privately is the worst thing we have done. Our problem is also we can't afford to move out. Like, prices are so ridiculous. And I think if we would now move out of this place, they will easily put $600-700 more on rent for the next one. And we've looked at similar places.
They cost double.
They cost.
And we don't have that money. And even if I did, why would I? Like, I don't want to pay that.
So it's not really affordable to move out. But like I said, as long as we have no issues,
it's fine.
It's fine. And nowadays it's also a little bit better because we deal with the wife of our landlord. Yeah, landlady basically, who is already
dramatically better to deal with.
Dramatically nicer to deal with. She's just not the fastest, which in situations like this sucks a little bit.
Yes.
But
we'll live. We will live. It doesn't feel like it right now.
If you have the choice, company.
It doesn't feel like it right now, but we will survive.
So Skinner just got back from the gym, walked in and an instructor was like, hey, do you want to join a class?
No.
What is it?
That's your first mistake.
It's called Burn, you do this and this.
I was like, it sounds dangerous. All right, let me grab my friends. Pulled my friends off a Stairmaster and I was like, I've signed up for a class. And we're all dead.
I feel that.
That's why I don't do classes at the gym anymore. I've done one with Tifa, no, two. Yeah, two.
Yeah, also the trampoline thing.
Yeah.
That one was kind of
was
fun,
like a mixed circuit training kind of thing, and that killed me. Like, I couldn't move my whole body for like 4 days. We've streamed afterwards. There was plenty of complaining for me. Because I just overdid it, because when I do 3 movements, I just don't know my limit and I just keep going. And that's on me. I know that, but that's why I don't do classes. I prefer my 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, I'm done. And then I know, okay, this muscle is now trained. Now this rests.
I haven't done classes in a while, but I would like to do the bungee jump, the trampoline one again, actually. And I was considering...
I go bungee jumping for the gym.
Well, they have that too.
That's true.
Where they strap you up,
bungee.
But that seems like absolute hell. But they also do yoga on Sunday now. And I was thinking of trying yoga, because I am as flexible as a potato.
I cannot touch my hands to the ground when I bend over. I can barely get my hands past my knees.
I'm actually a little bit better than you in that regard, funnily enough.
I have very little mobility.
But I wish our gym had this Stairmaster thing, because I wonder if you can just send them an email and go like, hey, can you get this?
You can ask them, you can suggest it, whether they do it is up to them.
Because our gym is a bit old-fashioned. It also has a lot of old people. But it would be nice to have that. But we also don't really have another gym in the area.
Just ask.
That I'm willing to go to. Yeah.
It's out of my job because I have to lift moderately heavy stuff from time to time. Saves me the gym. Nice.
That is also true.
I'm a pencil pusher. Most of my exercise comes from moving a mouse and typing on a keyboard. And talking a lot.
Same. Only my jaw muscles get trained.
Yeah. To increase my cardio, I can lift. Cool. I sacrificed my fitness to do a dirty bulk, just so I can focus on strength and mass, and I'm focusing on cutting alongside strength training. Look at him using all the fancy words, people.
It sounds horrible, Skinner.
I understood half of that. Hey, whatever works. It's the most important part.
It all boils down to working out sucks.
You know what also boils down to it sucks? Tifa's recaps, especially when they come out of the blue. Do you live, bro? Yes, he do. Indeed. Tifa,
seriously have no clue anymore.
What has happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cried Chapter 6? Tsumihoroboshi, also known as Higurashi When They Cried Kai. Again, I think Kai is for the answer arcs.
I really do not remember what happened in the cafe.
Exactly, Tifa. Keiichi and Reina had met to together go into Angel Mort for the dessert festa. As part of a punishment game from whenever previously. Satoko, Rika...
part of a punishment game.
As part of a punishment game. Don't interrupt if you don't know shit.
Well, they made the punishment game part of it, but it wasn't.
As part of a punishment.
Okay.
Satoko, Rika, and Mion had to dress up in revealing / cute / clothing and act as waitresses for Keiichi and Reina, who, after fighting their way past all the dirty, nasty otakus, got into Angel Mort. We got to see their costumes. It was all very turns out that a couple of our previous chapters' old friends show up because they're also horny. Irei suddenly showed up. The baseball dude,
guy, forgot his name.
The baseball perf that wants to do kinky things with the desserts, imagining they're girls. That guy. Yes, I have to do that with my face to tell you who it is. I forgot the name, but that guy from the baseball thing.
Kinky baseball guy.
Yeah. Eventually, they had an eating competition. I'm still not sure who won.
They didn't say. We basically just skip out of it at some point.
Yeah. But then something magical happened in the middle of the eating contest. Suddenly the text turned pink. And we were both very confused by this. And eventually we figured, oh! Change of perspective, because when the text be pink, the narrator or the point of view isn't Keiichi, it is Reina. And through Reina's perspective, she eventually gets up, excuses herself to go to the bathroom, and there she bumps into an acquaintance of hers, Rina.
Oh yeah.
Who seems to know Reina from a while ago, not exactly know where, but this becomes immediately obvious when you realize that Rina calls Reina Reina, R-E-I-N-A, because only her new friends in Hinamizawa call her Reina with R-E-N-A. Does it sound like I just said the same thing twice? Yes, that's because we stick with our pronunciation. Technically, it should be Rena, not Reina, but we've been doing this for almost a year now, calling her Reina, so I will stick with that. Anyway, she uses the old spelling of her name, so I assume she knows her from way back then, from her old school, probably. She asks her to help her with picking out sweets for her boyfriend or something like this. They have a short little meet and then they leave. Afterwards, Keiichi and Reina go back home. Keiichi needs to take a shit, so he excuses himself, eventually goes home. But Reina is still so hyped up about how great of a day it was that she wants to go to the junkyard and dig in a new pile that she found. And I believe we left off with a perspective changing to Reina.
I don't know if it did that, but we did leaving Reina to go to the junkyard.
Indeed. And we know when you all get to Higurashi chapter Tatsumaki Senpuku Yaku. I don't think that exists, and if it did, it would be a visual novel and not a Street Fighter game. Because I think Tatsumaki Senpuku Yaku is
the next
set for
chapter.
whirlwind kick? The super move, I think. Let me Google that really quick. See? See? Because it's my favorite move. It's always what I go for in Street Fighter 4, because I don't like 5 and I've never touched 6, because I don't like Master. Are you ready, Tifa, for some more higuring of Varashis? Yes, she says internally.
It doesn't sound canon to me.
I think it's one of the spin-off chapters that were made later.
It's optional.
Click! I'm so unprepared. I didn't even get to take a shower before the stream. This is my I've showered yesterday evening body.
Where does that come from?
Because I also hadn't loaded the game yet. I mean, the game was running, but I hadn't loaded the save file yet.
But you never load the save file yet.
I used to. Last time I didn't, but before that. Just hose yourself with a washing machine water. I'll need to call the guy back to blow the dirty the old water, I don't know what you call it, to like... Yeah, do that.
It's still on the floor, go roll around in that.
What does Scheiße mean? Shit.
It's like, oh shit.
Yes, Tifa?
That's word.
The text be pink, therefore the narration goes to... I couldn't think of something that rhymes with stink.
I hope Reina isn't main character too much in this chapter.
Why not?
She's a hard voice to do as main character.
I hope she is, because she seems very complex. And we haven't really gotten much focus on her yet.
Tifa hates Reina!
Yeah. Also hats.
She's not my favorite. I totally didn't pronounce that as said like a B. I mean, that makes...
Understandable.
That's understandable. Basically, if you want to replace that character, it's a double S.
Yes. Tifa doesn't hate Reina, but Tifa does hate a lot of things, like Samsung TV remotes, trackpads on laptops, gnomes, the TMNT, heating, plushies, caterpillars, some colors, fun, at least half the things I love, tomatoes, hedgehogs, sushi, every single member of the X-Men, soup, all rap music, Dr. Dre in particular, Skinner, Magneto's outfit, pina coladas, Dr. Pepper, and the list goes on.
You can add washing machine repair guys on there.
I will after the stream.
Keiichi waved over and over as if he didn't want to say goodbye yet.
I think it was just really hard trying to not poop.
But after a while he was gone. Well, I had to go too because I was going to go treasure hunting. I love cute things. I had such a wonderful day today that I'm sure I'm going to get lucky at treasure hunting. I definitely will find some wonderful treasures. I pedaled my bicycle with determination.
Undertale? Is that you?
My house was nearby, but I took another street that led to the damn construction site. It might have been okay to go home just then, but I hesitated to go since I didn't want to be seen. I had so much fun today and I wanted to continue feeling happy as long as I could.
Is there a deeper meaning to this?
Probably yes. It was already getting late, but I felt like it was getting dark faster than usual. Just like Keiichi-kun said, the clouds in the sky were growing darker. It might start raining hard. But that doesn't mean I have to go home already. Stop it, Reina. You had so much fun today. You have to stay happy as long as you can.
Yeah, calling it now. Reina is...
She already said her parents argue a lot.
11 April, Reina lives in an abusive household.
I want to know the definition of abusive before you assign that one to yourself, because we already know she lives in a household where her parents argue a lot. Do you count that as abusive?
Domestic violence.
Okay.
Not necessarily towards her, but she witnesses it.
take it. Also, it doesn't count if you both hate it. Well, then several things need to get off of there. Like, I'm quite sure Jack hates hedgehogs.
I do not.
Yeah, you totally do.
No, I do not.
So what's a trackpad on a laptop? Oh wait, no, actually, I do hate that. I
don't actually use those quite a bit.
Oh no, I absolutely hate it. It's so annoying, especially at work when you sometimes have to like move somewhere and you can only take your laptop along and you can't plug it in somewhere and you have to work on a tiny screen. Plus that trackpad, as it's called, I absolutely hate it. Okay, so that is very justified. Soup.
I don't hate soup.
Skinner. Yeah, I think you do hate Skinner.
Okay, yeah, we can take that one.
Pina colada, you do like pina colada.
I do.
Yeah, you do. Okay, yeah, fine.
Okay, so Skinner can come off.
I love you, Skinner. I'm happy. I enjoy every day. Reina, say it. Say the magical words. Don't be embarrassed. You're not dumb or anything. I might be able to enjoy every day even more if I were dumb.
I feel that so often.
Ignorance is bliss. I even had a talk with Jack about it when I came back from the UK. I don't really read the news. I don't keep up with things. The only news I do read is what's forced onto like my
real talk
on like my social media vibe, and then I'm willing to like look at it or whatever. But I don't actively read the news because it really makes me depressed, and I know I get really down from that. And while I was at the UK, I was...
At the UK. She wasn't in the UK. She was at the UK. Tifa didn't actually go there. She lied to us all. She stayed on a boat at the coast. She was at the UK.
While I was in the UK, I was...
having breakfast at the
obviously
hotel.
Having breakfast every morning. And they had the news on. And the news was just filled with so much depressing shit. And it just really got me dumb. And then I even told Jack about it. Like every day it was like, 30% of the population lives in poverty and we're increasing this price. And they're talking about tax increases and these people died and this happened in the world. And I was like, fucking hell. Like, there's nothing positive in there anymore. And then I told him as well, like, I'm so actually really happy that I don't watch the news anymore. Because it just really ruins my mood.
Yeah, I've said that a while ago.
Ignorance is bliss.
I think already, but I really started customizing the news feeds I get. I made the conscious decision to stop doom scrolling a while ago. Psycho, I am proud of you. Whatever that's worth to you, I am proud of you. That is a step. That's a habit to break, and I think that's a good step to take.
It really is.
Takes effort. A change like this takes effort, and I think it's very important. There is no advantage to making yourself depressed with all the horribleness in the world. If you open your mind far enough to realize all the horrible shit that is happening in this instant, somewhere in the planet, that can be enough to destroy you. Is it a good idea to turn a blind eye to this? No. I believe we should all take whatever steps we can to make the world a better place. But there's a difference between doing that, being aware of it, and still just trying to live your frickin' life. We all also deserve to be happy. I don't think that's too much. So
it's much better for your own mental health. Yeah. Like am I less informed? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Do I feel much better? Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Ranger, welcome in. Happy Friday. Please enjoy your tea. What did you make?
I will drink once my tea is ready. So when the tea is ready, you will drink your tea, or you're grabbing a bottle of something
Ranger
else?
redeemed hydrate, which means Ranger has to drink.
Oh, I didn't see the hydrate redeem. I found it so weird. Like, I will if you don't see that redeem, it's like, I will drink once my tea is ready. Like,
do not drink boiling water. It's too hot.
I figured you would grab something else.
No, Skinner, why would you say that? And this is why we both hate Skinner. Yeah, he's coming off the list. No.
Enjoy your tea, Ranger.
Making a conscious decision to cut things out of your life that have no positive impact on you is a good thing. On the same notion, ignorance is bliss. Throughout my life, I've met so many people that just seemed happier. And when I talk to them and when I realize, I usually disagree with them on fundamental levels, but they don't have the same worries or things that depress them as much as I do, because they just don't care about these things. They don't care about climate change. Because to them, their life is, I get up in the morning, I have breakfast, I take a shit, I go to work, I come home, I meet my family, I have fun with my loved ones, I play video games, I do my whatever. I do something fun, and then I go to bed. And that's my life. And that's it. Sometimes bad things happen, sickness, illness, deaths, family shit. Adulting sometimes happens. It does. But other than that, I don't check the news. I don't know what's happening in world politics. I don't know what's happening.
Depends on how you take it.
With economies around the world and issues, because my life's easy. I'm usually straight white male, and I don't need to deal with these things because I just don't need to. So I don't, and I'm happy.
You can't spell ignorance without...
IGN. That is true. Not necessarily relevant, but IGN is a website, one of the bigger networks that covers video games and video game adjacent things.
Oh.
IGN is famous for saying things like Pokemon 3rd generation. Hoenn? Too much water. Exactly. Yeah, 7.8 out of 10, Gen 3, too much water. Not surf is too slow. Just too much water. Which...
I mean, it's
I agree with, but the thing is, it's islands. What do all islands have in common? Exactly, they're surrounded by water. So what would you assume you will have to traverse if you are on islands?
Yeah, but
it's water.
The water scenes and the cave ones are the most annoying ones in Pokemon.
Yes, that's fine. But then the problem isn't that there is water, the problem is the game mechanics. Case in point, full Pokemon nerd mode. In Generation 4, for Diamond and Pearl, Surf was really, really slow. That's when they made Platinum, they made Surf dramatically faster. The problem wasn't that there was a lot of surfing, the problem was that whenever you had to surf, it was hell to play, because it was so slow. So they just sped it up.
Yeah, but then there's still too much water. Like, it's a consequence of it being slow. Like, then it feels like way too much. Plus, you have the annoying random interactions every single block.
But then the problem isn't the water. The problem is movement is too slow and too many random encounters.
Yeah, but it feels worse. Too much water. Too much water.
Would have rated it 5 out of 10 with a fucking roaming Latias. Fair.
I live on an island. I live under a rock. I used to live under the sea.
She says while she has a pineapple-ish looking thing there. Who lives in a pineapple? I never see. Thank you, Higurashi, for allowing us this detour about the state of the world and how people live in it.
But yeah, basically that. I would also enjoy every day more if I was dumb. That's why I do enjoy most of my days if things don't break.
Yeah, it's fine. Nothing wrong with it.
Go.
Can you get us back into it, please?
I just did, by repeating where we were.
You didn't repeat the line, though.
I might be able to enjoy every day even more if I were dumb. If so, dumb is what I'd want to be. I'm going to find something so cute and take it home with me. There, I said it. I'm sure I can find something cute. As long as I believe it's cute, anything can be that way. I should fill my heart with happy memories of today and yesterday. I should look forward to the happiness I'm going to receive tomorrow and the day after tomorrow too. I reached the dam construction site, and a mountain of trash loomed before me.
I wasn't there.
I parked my bicycle and walked down the mountain of trash and scrap. This place is my castle. It would be incredible if anyone else came to this mountain of trash. I've come here many times, and I usually stay for a long while, but I've never seen anybody walk by. I would love to go dumpster diving once. That seems so much fun.
I would dig through the trash. I would scrape my skin on a rusted piece of metal and die 6 weeks later from an infection. 100%.
You can die happily at least.
That's not what I consider happy though, so no.
It seems like so much fun to do once.
It's the same fucking idea, Jack. Yeah, I really should have time.
Like on a proper
You're
dumpster.
welcome.
It seems like so much fun.
Saved you having to type that. No, I like it here. It's quite nice.
This place is the village's blind spot. I heard that many people came here all the time during the dam wars, but it was abandoned after that. Also, it even has a crane in the dumpster.
Yeah, I mean, even cranes need to be thrown somewhere. Also, oh my god, I only realized there's 3 forklifts in the back. Top right.
4. There's another one there. 1, 2. Actually?
That's 3.
No, that is 3. Yeah.
3 forklifts. This place is heaven. I need to go there to get my Shenmue on.
Just the wheels alone are...
Garbage stop. Yes.
The wheels alone are expensive.
All
and
of
look
it
at
is
all
expensive.
of the equipment, iron, these pipes that they keep.
All of that's expensive.
That's a gold mine here.
Also, we need to move a little bit more to the right of the screen. Thank you. No, stop. Yeah, this works. Chad Gable. No, Chad Gabelstapler. John Gabelstapler. Get your name straight.
Germanception.
Mm-hmm.
The villagers no longer need to come here, and some people even forget about it entirely. It seems like they dump trash here at midnight, but I've never seen a truck actually dumping trash at least. If they dump new trash more often, it'd give me more time to kill. But it looks like it's not going to happen for a while. I walked down the slope of the trash pile all the way down to the bottom and headed behind another pile. Nobody ever comes here. I've come here many times, and I usually stay for a long while, but nobody ever comes to mess up this place. Have I not read the same line 3 times in a row now?
I think there's a reason for all of this.
Not even the other kids from my school come here. They all believe that the arm of the manager of the construction site is buried somewhere in the trash piles, and they also believe the whole place is haunted. I am sorry, but if someone in high school told me that there's an abandoned trash pile near where I live, where nobody comes, and there is the suspicion that there are body parts hidden there, I would have been the first one on that site. Like, fair is fair.
I believe that.
Imagine not wanting to go there, especially as a kid.
Of course you would. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Especially as a kid, would you not?
No. No.
Funnily enough, though, when
looking at me in disbelief, like I just said the moon is made out of cheese or something.
That is so weird.
No,
As
I
a
wouldn't.
kid, I had some odd perks.
You think?
And I remember, like, I always walked, I might have told that before as well. When I was younger, I always walked around with a little shovel. And whenever we came across, like, a dead bird or a dead rat or any other dead animal, I started bawling my eyes out. And we used to have this little funeral next to the road then, because I had to bury it, which is what my little shovel was for. So I could...
I'm imagining it, and it's sad, but it's also adorable.
dig up a little grave for them, and then we had to put it in, and only then could we continue.
Tifa, normal kids don't do that. As a black person, says Skinner, my family is moving. Ranger, as a Hispanic man, deported.
Me as a white little girl. But I never wanted to come across it.
And now you understand white privilege. Finally.
I'm not even done yet. I never wanted to come across a dead animal because, like I said, I absolutely love animals. And I would absolutely bawl my eyes out.
She just said that twice. She's becoming more and more like Reina.
Yes, exactly. I'm just repeating it. But we have a lot of, what do you call them? Ditches? No.
Yes.
Like these water ditches that also have pipes into the sewage.
Moats.
Like moats. And I would always love to walk past those, and no matter how horrible it sounds, I was always kind of hoping to find like a body in the sewage moats, because that idea seemed so exciting. It's absolutely horrible. But that is something I was then looking forward to. And it's kind of like this. So if you would tell me, I know it's... I got paid for finding Tifa. Yeah, I know. And the idea is, if I now think about it, the idea is absolutely horrible because that means someone got murdered and ditched into there. But as a kid, especially as little 7-year-old me, that idea seemed so exciting.
You know what excited me as an idea in my head when I was 7? When I was sitting in the back of a car and I was bored because it was dark and I couldn't play my Game Boy in the dark because I didn't take my worm light along, or I ran out of batteries, I forgot my Game Boy. I would look outside and I would imagine Mario running along the road with me and jumping over things.
I didn't have those
That's
games.
what I was thinking of when I was 7.
I didn't have those games back then. But then, if you would tell me, if you would tell teenage me, like, hey, this is there.
Yeah, no, I would stay away as well.
I cannot believe any of you would actually, like, stay away. That is...
No.
I cannot fathom.
This is gonna sound disrespectful. Fathom.
That's what I'm saying.
No, you didn't. I don't mean this disrespectfully, even though it's probably gonna come off like this. There are more people like you. More people that would find this very interesting. That have that curiosity.
Yes, just I think I would have stayed out of curiosity. Exactly, that's the whole thing.
Not me. No.
And so we're... But yeah. I don't get how an entire village, with the exception of Reina, would stay away from here because they believe an arm is buried in there.
I'm gonna write down 2 more predictions.
They're gonna find the arm?
I really think this chapter is gonna be the one that breaks me and I'm gonna be a sobbing mess later. But that's not my prediction.
Okay, wait. Let me rephrase, by the way, because Skinner, Ranger, for you guys, I can understand wanting to stay away, because...
For the reasons you explained.
For the reasons you explained, I can imagine, especially as a kid, maybe not, but especially as like black, late teenager, you will 100% go to jail for that. I'm laughing, but it's kind of sad, actually. Like, no questions asked. So then I can get it. But like little teenage me, 100%.
I want to point out that the way Tifa said it can be taken as very racist. And I skipped all of that by just saying for the reasons you mentioned. Because if anybody knows your experience better than anybody, it's you. So I refer back to all of you.
That's what I'm saying, I get that.
Yes, but we all understand what you meant, but if we didn't understand, what you just said was objectively racist as fuck.
Why is it racist as fuck to say that a...
I will play the VOD for you later and then you will see.
I guess I didn't realize what I was saying again.
It's fine. Now...
2 predictions.
Tifa cannot not derail things. Jack's trying to make sure no cancel on Blue Sky. I'm trying to make Tifa understand that context is key. And...
But we have context.
Exactly.
We're in the middle of the context.
Can I get my points across?
Okay.
Or you want to keep derailing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, back to my point. Look, I'm saying things twice now as well. How come? I believe this chapter is gonna turn me into a sobbing mess. Because, number one, I think Reina is putting on an act, being the way she is, to mask something.
Nah, that is not a prediction. That is already clear. That is already made clear. That is not a prediction. If you want to make a prediction, say what the something is.
I will write it down the way I said it. I will not be gaslit into thinking my opinions aren't valid because I don't really know.
That is so not valid, Yuki. How are you doing? Welcome in. That is not a prediction. Is it just me? Reina is putting on an act, being the way she is, to mask for something. That is the same like saying my prediction is someone is going to die. Exactly. It's already clear that she's miserable for something, that some shit has happened, and that she's obviously putting on a mask. Like, at least say the what.
So you agree with me? I can make this a shared prediction.
It's not a prediction.
Okay, so it's just my prediction.
It's a fact at this point already. If you said that like in chapter 1, where none of this was clear, I would have agreed with you. But at this point, that is just stating the obvious. What's your second one, though?
I'm gonna humor this for a moment. I'm sorry. How is it obvious? When has it been said? When has it been confirmed?
With how she's acting now and the things we have learned.
Oh, so has it been spelled out? Have we been told, or are we assuming? Answer the question.
She's not gonna say, I've been putting on an act, masking, something. That's already clear with the things we know.
Do you see how she's moving the goalposts? Jack, have you heard of Show, Don't Tell? Yes, I have, and I've played another set of visual novels that have fucked me sideways with exactly this. Because there was a character I absolutely hated who was lying their ass off the entire time. And then they did something which confirmed something I assumed. And I jumped on that, and it turned out that was all bullshit too. So just because something looks a certain way to me doesn't mean it actually is until that gets confirmed. Why does the story need to explicitly tell us something when the point of storytelling is to show?
And it has shown.
Because two different things. The story doesn't need to explicitly tell me, but if it just shows me things that I can interpret a certain way, it is still open to interpretation. Which I'm fine with. But they're two different things.
I want you to add next to that I disagree. For when we go through these things in 2 years, I will not remember.
How about this? I ask again, do you agree with this?
I want to make it a shared thing.
Do you answer my question? Do you agree with this?
Yes, I do agree. Because we already know.
I'm putting this as a shared one. And now you have made me yap so much I forgot my second thing.
Okay, call me that then. You kind of made the prediction of domestic abuse. Oh yeah, isn't that the masking it then? Which means it's the same one. Want to make that the reason Reina masks up. Then now he can keep it as two different things, because now if he's wrong about domestic violence, he can go like, I knew it was something. Well, I wrote down something.
Tifa, who hurt you? Why are you like this?
I'm just very against this.
I don't know what triggered it. I simply do not know. I do know about Reina that she smashed up a school and a couple of kids way back when. I know that she knows people that we are only getting to meet now, in the case of Rena, for example. I assume things at home are bad based on what is being presented to me. But I don't know when she started giving herself pep talks and telling her audibly, like out loud at points, telling herself to put on this happiness to remind herself to be happy, to be in that moment. I don't know what caused it. So I get it, but I don't want to pin that down because I don't know if that's it, and I don't think I have a way of knowing it.
So you remember your
Can
second
I get
one?
to my second part, Tifa?
Yeah, you said you forgot.
Yeah, but now I remember. It came back to me like a boomerang.
Then go for it.
I think when Reina is talking to herself, that's not Reina just talking to herself, like I would imagine most people do, but it's Reina talking to Rena. It's her old self talking to what she is trying to be her new self specifically.
So double personality, basically.
I don't know. I
Well,
think
you can't have two personalities talk to one another otherwise.
Yes, you can. There's multiple reasons why something like this happens. But there is a Reina, R-E-I-N-A, and there is a Reina, R-E-N-A. And I don't think it's just like it's not Jack talking to himself, it's Jacques talking to Jack.
Just aimed at, or are both of them replying and talking? Who's the one talking, who's the one listening, and is the other person replying?
They're having a conversation.
Okay. There was nothing so far that made me believe she's having a conversation with the other one. More just talking to herself. But I'll take it. Write it down.
Reina, say it. Say the magical words. Don't be embarrassed. You're not dumb or anything. That could just be just talking to yourself. Or it could be deeper than that. And I think it's deeper than that.
Yeah, that one you can go for. It's better than the other one.
Thank you for putting scores to my opinions.
You're
Which
welcome.
is fine. You're all welcome to do that. Now, before you read out my notes again, these notes are for me. I still do have a plan that I show them to you all when we're all done with this, but then I'll make it look nice and understandable to somebody that isn't me who wrote them. Those are notes for myself. So when Tifa reads them out like this, half of it is missing because it's in there.
Yeah, because now it says Reina's talking to herself. Is Reina or Rena? When Tifa talks to herself, it's also against Tifa.
All of you. Have you ever written yourself a note? And yeah, I'm gonna press A, but this one is not having me. Have you ever written a note to yourself that if somebody else found it or read it out, they wouldn't understand what you meant, but you do? It's that, and she cannot grasp that concept somehow.
No, I do. I often don't even know what I mean with my own notes when I read them a week later.
I was talking to a man in a wheelchair. I wish there was a man in a wheelchair right now who could take over for Tifa, who is making a piss boil.
They told me that a ghost with one arm still wanders around here looking for his missing limb.
That's actually kind of sad, but also cute.
Sadly, I haven't seen the ghost either. I'm not scared. In fact, I'd rather like to meet him. I wouldn't mind helping him find his arm.
That's so cute.
If he's feeling lonely, I'd want him to be my conversation partner. There's a station wagon buried in the trash pile. It doesn't have tires. Good thing there's spare ones. But other than that, it still looks like a station wagon. This station wagon is my secret hideout. Unfortunately, the sliding door and rear doors don't open. So whenever I want to get in, I have to enter the car from the passenger seat and crawl into the back from there. Of course, I take off my shoes at the passenger seat.
She's so sweet.
When you look at it from the outside, it's just a dirty, abandoned car.
But does it have air conditioning?
Wait, what can we see from all of here?
Tifa, we can see nothing. It just exists to give you a general idea.
There's a big tank full of gas.
With an L on it. It's probably LPG, which is the type of gas.
There's a piano.
Is there?
There, on the side.
On
the right side.
Over on the right.
There's a pole with barbed wire around it.
Yeah, there's like electricity poles.
A fridge.
A bicycle.
Some doors. Okay, nothing.
Something that looks like a bus stop.
As an Easter egg, they should have had like 2 fingers stick out from somewhere.
Only Tifa.
But on the inside, it's nice and clean because I had swept it out and decorated a little. That took me a long time. The back seats are laying flat because I wanted to have as much space as possible. I found a mattress in the trash pile and put it onto that space instead. It was a bit dirty, so I brought a bedsheet from home and covered the mattress with it. I put my favorite cushions on top, and with that it turned into a perfect bed. I've put cushions and stuffed animals everywhere. That's not all. Look at this. I have a bunch of sweets here too. I have a bag of fruit candy in 4 different colors, and some cookies. But they're going bad. I'll have to throw them away. You can just open the window in this case. My beer-shaped water bottle was empty, or my bear-shaped. My beard-shaped, can you just imagine a water bottle in the form of a beard?
Rice is done, time for lunch. Ranger, please enjoy.
Your lunch.
I hope your tea turned out awesome too. Also, I don't know why, but I already feel like crying going through this.
When I come here to spend some time on Sundays, I usually bring this water bottle with some sweetened tea in it. I have a box of tissues, a flashlight, extra batteries, and other daily necessities in there. I also have a few books to read in order to kill some time while I'm at it. And I have this. What do you think this is? Look, ta-da! My hideout is suddenly lit up thanks to the table lamp. There's an electric outlet on the side of an old nearby construction office. I thought they have cut the power years ago, but to my surprise I was wrong. At a nearby office, how nearby does that have to be for the cable to even still reach that?
Extension cables.
It has to be a really long
like
one.
Industrial levels ones, those are really long.
Yeah,
yeah.
It has to be done. Electricity is still being supplied to the outlet. When I found tons of extension cords, I came up with the idea to connect them all and make the electricity come all the way to my hideout.
You're not sure how safe that is, but it works.
It's a press A moment. Now I can spend time here comfortably with some sweets, books and lights. If I wanted to, I might be able to spend a night here. But I may catch a cold since it gets very cold at night. See? This is a very nice hideout, isn't it? At first, I thought somebody would find it and mess with it. But that hasn't happened so far. That's because nobody comes here and everybody forgot about this place. That's how this place became my perfect secret hideout. Fortunately, I ate so much today that I'm still full. I can tell them that I was playing with my friend at her house and ate dinner there. I'm going to stay here for a while and relax. And I'm going to treat myself. I left the water gun battle yesterday.
The what?
The water gun battle. My heart had been pounding when I fought one-on-one with Keiichi-kun. I also had great fun at Angel Moore today. I'd never experienced such a crazy game with so many people in my life. I was still feeling the after effects, and I was sure I'd have a dream about it tonight. That was why I wanted to bask in these happy feelings. That was why I'm going to treat myself in here. I should take off my shoes and stretch my toes. I should cherish. I cannot say cherish. I should cherish the time when I can be myself.
There it was. I should cherish the time when I can be myself.
Yeah.
Not I should cherish the time when I can be by myself, as in Reina just enjoys alone time. Where she can be herself. So if she goes home, she has to be somebody or something else. I feel like I'm sitting in a car that is getting faster and faster, driving towards a wall. Emotionally, I'm bracing for impact.
Go. Once I took off my shoes, I felt so relaxed that I didn't want to put them on again. I played all day today and I was very tired. The treasure hunt could wait. As it got darker, the light of the table lamp became encouraging. It really was getting dark faster than usual. And all of a sudden, I heard the sound of raindrops hitting the roof of the car. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. The interval between drops got shorter and shorter. When it became a continuous sound, I began to hear thunder. Even though it was raining heavily, it remained very quiet inside the car, making me feel like I was in a different world. It's my castle after all. I felt a bit cold, so I unfolded my big blanket and hid under it.
Is it weird that I can't really relate to this? I mean, a hideout I get, but on a garbage site? It's not weird, because there's always things that may or may not break suspension of disbelief for you. I can relate.
I can relate because she likes to be there.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly it is about this place. If it's just the being completely alone here, or if it's that she finds all of these cool, awesome things that have been abandoned here, or a combination of all of these. I do not know. But when your situation at home isn't great, and you start going into escapism, and you find something that works for you, I can relate to that. My escape at home was video games. So maybe I'm reading more into this than I have to, but I feel that. So far I feel all of this in my soul, and I don't like how it feels.
I'm here alone, under the warm blanket that has my scent. Even though nobody knew where I was at the moment, and I felt like I was left alone in the heavy rain, I still feel secure and free from anxiety for some reason. I feel like this heavy rain was keeping my enemies away from my castle. I liked it that way. Reina also likes dumpster diving already, so she's not that disturbed by this. And she's cleaned it up a bit too. Yeah, exactly. Especially with how much time she spends here. It makes perfect sense.
I don't think she has this association of like, it's trash. It's
her little place.
It's treasure. It's abandoned by others, but it's still treasure.
This place is full of small happiness. It's full of my favorite things. That's why I'm happy whenever I'm here. When I put another blanket over me, I felt as warm as if I were in bed. I listened to the soothing sounds of raindrops hitting the scrap iron in the trash heaps, and it made me feel sleepy. This is a castle of trash. This trash came here because nobody wanted it. This is where it lives. And Reina feels unwanted, probably,
no.
So she relates.
Those last two lines, that's not about the items here, that's about her.
I just said that and then you say no.
My way of saying it is way deeper than your way of saying it, so mine is better.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you got into the business of judging others people's sayings, so now I'm saying it like this.
Boo!
Yeah, to you. No.
That is absolutely to you.
No.
That is your boo.
I'm not saying she is, I'm saying she sees herself that way, which I disagree with so far, but...
tomato. All I see is tomato. No, to you, yes. Yeah, I told you it's to you.
No, you are you as well.
No, that is absolutely you. This is a country where unwanted refuse lives together. I felt like I fit in here. But at the same time, I knew it was just a temporary place for me, as there is nowhere I had to go back to.
No, you said a different word and it completely changed the meaning. You said nowhere.
Somewhere. I was just looking at what I said wrong. I knew it was just a temporary place for me, as there's somewhere I had to go back to. Well, I shouldn't think about things like that. Whenever I realize that I don't belong here, I remember I'm in the middle of a very dirty pile of trash. I should just doze for a little bit longer. Thinking is poisonous. I wanted to keep myself out of that poison so that the kind Reina within me could stay pure.
It's an alter ego that she created.
A little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. And I close my eyes.
Reina, R-E-I-N-A, couldn't be like this. So she creates a version of herself that can be like this. And that's Reina, R-E-N-A. Yep.
My mother was a very busy woman. The harder she worked, the more her work was valued, and she kept getting promoted. She sought to go higher and higher. She was always shining, and she was my hero. My mother started her career as a fashion designer at a small clothing company in Okonomiya. My father was a designer too. They met through their jobs and soon got married. They lived in a small apartment in Okonomiya, but they moved to my grandmother's house, our current house in Hinamizawa, when she got pregnant with me. Our grandmother got pregnant with her. Come on.
Oh my god, Tifa.
I had to. We lived there until right before I went to elementary school.
Yes, Tifa, exactly. Yep. And that's why there's two Rainas. It's not in her head, her talking to herself. No, there's two Rainas. And they look identical because the whole twin shenanigans haven't been done yet in Hinamizawa or Higurashi. No, there's Reina and there's Reina. And one was the daughter of a grandmother and the other is the grandkid. Yes, and they happen to...
It's a small town. The chances we're related to one another is very high.
It's fine as long as it stays in the family. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, that was the happiest time of my life. I felt happy every day and believed without a doubt that tomorrow would be the same. I was so happy that I took it for granted. I didn't even feel the happiness. I really did feel happy every day. I was small at that time and didn't really understand what was going on, but it seemed like the company my parents were working for were having financial difficulties. So my mother and a few other young designers started talking about leaving the company and going independent. After many things happened and the situation grew complicated, they got an offer to work at a big design firm in Ibaraki, and they took the offer.
Complicated.
At the time, I heard my mother saying many difficult words like limited partnership and business alliance, but in short, what she wanted to do was move to Ibaraki. My mother and her peers were hired because their talent and experience made them immediate assets to their new company. However, my father wasn't one of them. Unfortunately, my father wasn't as talented as my mother was. So moving to Ibaraki meant that my father had to give up being a fashion designer. My mother's new company had high expectations of her talent and promised her a responsible project. She didn't want to waste her growing talent and passion by living in a rural town like Hinamizawa. So my mother convinced my father to quit his job and move to Ibaraki to support her and to help her build her career.
And that's where the resentment starts.
Back then, moving meant that I had to say goodbye to my close friends. I didn't want to move, and I kept crying about it. After we moved to Ibaraki, my mother was a big success. Not only did she have great leadership skills, she was full of energy, and I believe she made the best use of her talents to succeed. She came home late every night and barely had any days off. When she had a big project, she often stayed entire nights at her office. But when she came home, she always looked fulfilled and wore a happy smile that she had never worn when she was in Hinamizawa.
Did she also start an affair? So that we go for the double whammy? It's not just the issue of him having to quit his job, her getting farther ahead and being very busy with work. We need another wrench in the system.
I'm kind of waiting for it as well, but I'm thinking the father started an affair because the mother kept working longer and longer, no time for him. He started feeling unwanted and then
Also possible.
went that way. She was shining, and I remember I always wanted to shine like her when I grew up. On the other hand, my father wasn't doing so well. He couldn't find a job as a fashion designer, so he took a clerical job at a small company, but he kept changing positions. He couldn't use the experience that he had cultivated, and it was very hard for him. But he was very understanding. He started to take care of things around the house for my mother, who got busier and busier, having one project after another. He cleaned her house, did the laundry, and came to my school events. However, he couldn't cook. He did cook rice, but always bought side dishes from a grocery store. That's why she started to learn how to cook.
Probably, yeah.
We ate dinner without my mother more and more often. I guess she's busy again. Every time I said that, he always told me,
Your mother is working very hard, so let's support her, Reina.
that was what he always told me. I decided to help my father with the cooking. I thought it was a good idea to learn how to cook, since he wasn't good at it. Whenever my mother cooked, I helped her and tried to learn how to cook from her. She apologized for not having enough time to cook for us, but she was happy I was learning. I think I wrote in my school yearbook that I wanted to be a clothing designer in the future, just like my mother. But apparently I lacked my mother's exceptional sense of style. She used to tell me, taste is something that you're born with, not something that you cultivate.
I disagree, because I want to say independent of your own personal taste, you can learn what other people like. You know?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I remember I was discouraged to be a designer because of that. That was why I decided to reach her by getting better at things she wasn't so good at, instead of trying to be like her. I wanted to be good not only at cooking, but also at doing things around the house, such as cleaning, doing the laundry, and grocery shopping. I remember my father was really happy that I did all that for him, because he wasn't good at it at all. He couldn't find a job, and spent a lot of time at home, so he seemed to enjoy spending time doing the housework with his daughter more than anything. I started to become better and better at filling in for my mother. And she started to get too busy to do any of the housework at all. She moved on to a more responsible position at her job. She took me out to many places, as if to compensate for leaving me alone all the time. She used to say, let's go eat something delicious without telling your father, and took me out to a restaurant. Imagine taking the father along in this case. She took me to high-class restaurants and amusement parks. And sometimes it was only me and my mother. Sometimes it was with her friends from work.
That's not how you keep a good relationship.
She took me to a beach barbecue one summer with those friends. I was introduced as her daughter, and every one of them pampered me. I still remember there was this one guy who particularly doted on me. Oh, you were right, she's the one with the affair. He was a good-looking young man. I called him uncle once and he got mad at me. Who was nicely tanned with dyed brown hair. This young man often came with us when we went out. Okay, yeah. If you made that the prediction, you got it.
I didn't need an NTR storyline in this.
I was so sure it would be the other way around. When my mother took me somewhere, she usually made several phone calls for her work during the day, and sometimes she took me out to a place where she could also do her work at the same time. So I didn't feel awkward when people from her work came with us. But I always preferred to be alone with her, so I was happier when we could do that. One day she took me to a very high-end part of town. Of course, she always spoiled me whenever we went out. She bought me things and let me eat whatever I wanted. But she especially spoiled me on that day. She took me to many expensive-looking boutiques and accessory stores. She was about to buy me something, but I told her not to get it because it didn't look good on me. And without hesitation, she bought it anyway. I remember there were many zeros on the price tag.
She's trying to buy something. Whether her to be quiet and not tell the dad, or because we're like heading for divorce or something.
On that day, I realized my mother's design work had made her a very successful woman, and she was earning a lot of money. We took a break at a ridiculously expensive looking restaurant that probably charged 1,000 yen for a glass of orange juice. My mother clapped her hands and spoke to me with a smile on her face. This does not look like a place that charges so much for orange juice, but you know.
No, it's going for simple retro chic.
That has to be
so it looks completely average, but they appeal to rich people with more money than sense.
I have a feeling, you know, it could have been, but I feel like the little pot of chili oil, I'm guessing a salt and pepper set.
Yeah.
And the cigarette holder thing with what I'm going to assume is like a daily menu card on the table kind of ruins this vibe for me.
No, again, it's made to look regular, but it only caters to the most expensive taste.
If they had taken that off of the table and the table was sad, well, you could have still convinced me, but now...
It's rich people role-playing as regular people.
Now the mood is ruined. Like they specifically made this art for this, or have you seen this one before?
No, I haven't. It caters to rich people who like to pretend they're not that rich. Exactly, Yugi gets it. That happens so many times. That happens so many times that like celebrities and stuff go, Trump did it during the election campaign thing, where he worked at McDonald's for a few hours. It's the same bullshit. It's the same idea. It's like, oh, I have everything in my life. Now I'll pretend to be just a normal person, just a regular.
With anything else, I can agree with that. But we're now going for the, oh, this place looks so ridiculous that even I know. Like, we've gone through high fancy places
Tifa
before.
Doesn't understand that the backgrounds are just there to give you a general image.
Yeah, but if they already make a new background...
I will move on from this. I had a friend from high school who didn't realize just how rich her family was. I feel like that can go both ways. On one hand, that can make a person, I want to say, more grounded when they don't realize that their family is rich.
I think it's a better way, 100%.
It can also go the bad way, where they go, isn't everybody's life like this? Doesn't everybody have 16 butlers that tie your shoes for you?
But that's if you spoil your kids and just throw everything at them without anything. Because then it's like...
If your kids don't understand the value of money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's how you get with that.
This is how poor people live? How curious. Exactly, that. Tifa, art is expensive.
I get
Art is expensive.
I do realize it, but it's like these little things that can really take me out of the story. Like, we're talking about all of the fancy rich places she's already gone to, and then we now go to this one place that is extremely over the top, and even she as little Reina can tell how ridiculous this place is, and then I'm just saying it's the little things. Like, at least reuse Angel more than if anything.
Can't do that because we've just been there.
So?
In this same chapter.
So?
No, doesn't work. You wouldn't do that.
Like I said, for something that puts so much eye to details, I feel like it's these things that take me out of it.
Hey Tifa, look, it's a really popular place, really fancy, but there's no people either.
I can live with the no people, because it just sets the mood for you on where you are.
Did you get out of your system now? Can I remove a banner and remove on?
Don't you never have that it's this one little thing?
I had this in the beginning when we started playing Higurashi, when there were things like a phone in Keiichi's room, but he went downstairs to take a call. When the clock didn't have any hands, but I've moved on since then. I've developed as a person.
But now it's not just this little thing on the image that doesn't make sense. Now it's the entire image. And I feel like especially when you're trying to tell a sad story, which is what they're going for, these things just bother me and it completely takes me out of it. And it won't be... And now all of this won't be as emotional as it could be. Because I'm still stuck on this place. That's just how my brain works.
I think most people focus on the text and hear the music. but that's just me.
I'm just saying.
I feel a lot of wealthy people don't understand just how rich they are. They kind of take it for granted. Yes, and they completely don't understand what life for regular people is anymore.
Like, you can pluck them out really fast.
Yeah, said friend was shocked about me and one of our other friends living in trailers. Yeah, that kind of thing.
It's like
This place doesn't look poor either. This place is very clean and nice. Thank you, Yugi.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
that is not the point here. If you go to the text, we are talking about these super luxurious places and restaurants she's gone to. It's obviously that it's been extremely high class that she's gone, and this is like the cherry on top, as they make you believe it. And this does not compare to how they describe it, like the cherry on top. And my mind works very black and white in this case. Like this.
Your mind works?
I mean, we can argue about that.
Occasionally.
But you know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
it does not fit the story, and that completely breaks it up. Like, you can now tell me her dad killed her puppy in front of her, and I will still be stuck on the background, and it won't do anything for me. So any emotion that they were they were going for.
Is it just
gone.
me, or does Tifa without glasses look super weird? Right? Like,
I get the tiny eyes.
I feel like something is missing. She looks cute, even without glasses. Like,
I get tiny squint eyes.
It's like something is missing. Meanwhile, I just look like your sexy stand-in teacher with this. Hurts my eyes. I take
can
what
I
is
have glasses back?
no? What is suspension of disbelief for 500? Yes, and it's completely fair, but it could be the tiniest detail. I get it. Are you good now? Can we move on?
Yeah, we can.
Thank
I'm
you.
just trying to explain the one.
We understand, Tifa.
Yeah, but you didn't seem to accept it or understand it at all.
No, I wanted to move on. As a kid, I once visited relatives living far away. It was basically a trash heap with metal scraps or metal crap all around. Or metal scrap, yeah. Yeah, you know, people live in all sorts of situations. It happens. This is also the 70s, which wasn't as extravagant, I think.
I don't believe that.
Tifa expects designs like from the Hunger Games movies.
Nah, in the 70s, I 100% do not believe.
Tifa doesn't understand that what she thinks is a little pot with like chili oil on the table is actually cocaine. That's where the money went.
If someone tells me there's cocaine in there.
You know, you just do you have like a pencil or something? Yeah. You just you take out the little ladle thing and go
straight from the pot.
Yeah, exactly. You just make yourself feel nice.
Then I'm willing to believe you.
Reminder, I do not suggest doing cocaine. I don't think it makes you feel nice. Maybe for a moment, but it's really not good for you. Don't do cocaine.
I'm just saying whatever Reina is gonna come up with it's no longer as sad as it could be.
No, let's try. Tifa, what happened then?
She asked, Reina, would you like to make your dream come true? When I was in kindergarten, my teacher gave students a topic to draw a picture of. The topic was my dream, and I drew myself eating a mountain of fruit parfait all by myself. Parfait? What was
It's
it
okay
again?
because she's a little kid. It's still fruit parfait.
Oh, parfait, that's what it was.
Parfait.
Parfait. Yeah,
It's cool. She doesn't speak French.
This is a high-class, extravaganza, super duper luxurious restaurant.
Here it's parfait.
Exactly. It's parfait for our
For
upper class.
For the scrubs.
No, for upper class. We are way past upper class.
Oh yeah, true. There's parfait and there's parfait.
Exactly. This is like 1% speech. What my mother meant to say was that she was going to make that dream come true for me. It was a normal day. It wasn't my birthday or anything. But since my mother always spoiled me when we went out together, I didn't feel awkward about it at all, and I accepted her offer with a happy smile.
Oh no.
There were 5 or 6 fruit parfaits in front of me. I remembered it looked exactly like the world I drew, and I felt like I was floating in that dream world. It was too much for us to finish, but we dug our spoons into it as if we were playing in the mud, and we really enjoyed eating it together. It was my first time to experience getting full by eating only fruit parfaits. Oh my god. Why can I not say that?
Because you're you, Tifa. You're special that way.
It was my first time to experience getting full by eating only fruit parfaits. And I remember I was very happy. What was it again?
How? Parfait!
Oh yeah, I did say that now. I enjoyed tasting the happiness and chatting with my mother. Reina-chan, do you remember the man who went to the movie and had dinner with us last night? Are you talking about Uncle Akihito? Huh. Though I can't call him that or he's going to hit me. Reina-chan, do you like Akihito-san? I hate him. He always teases me. That's because he likes you. You got along well with him at the barbecue. Well, I get along with him every now and then. Every now and then. My mother laughed. I didn't know why she brought up the subject, but I didn't really pay attention to it because I was too young. Oh, she's probably living with him now. Do we know if she still lives with her actual parents or with like a stepdad?
We do not actually. We don't know if that's her biological father and mother that she lives with.
Well, from the looks of it, I think it's safe to assume that she's now living with her mother and...
Uncle Akihito.
Uncle...
Uncle...
I was gonna say asshole, but Uncle Hole...
Yeah, but all he did was a...
Like a
and then you exhaled for like 5 minutes. That wasn't just me experiencing that, right? But Tifa went, Uncle...
Maybe time slowed.
It did. It dilated around you.
I was enjoying this extra luxurious...
Fucking read the line.
I vote for calling him Uncle Asshole. Uncle
Same.
Asshole, we can go with. Now that I think about it, she was breaking the news. I just didn't notice it. Reina-chan, who do you like better, your father or me?
For the record, I don't think there's a good way to ask this question to a kid, but...
There should be no way to ask that question to a kid because you shouldn't ask it. You. It wasn't that I hated my father or anything, but I thought giving her that answer was appropriate after she spoiled me so much. If I said I'm going to live in another house away from your father, which of us would you like to live with? Huh? I'm thinking about divorcing your father and getting married to Uncle Asshole.
Read the line the way it's written.
I'm thinking about divorcing your father and getting married to Akihito-san. At that time, my mother was a very successful woman. I didn't notice at the time, but she was drafted by a headhunter to work at a bigger company where she was promoted to a higher and more responsible position, one where she could bring out the most of her talent. Of course, the position wasn't the only thing she gained. Compared to my father's low salary, my mother was earning enough money to support a family of 3 and still have left over. I'd kind of realized it from the way she spent money. The greater a position she achieved, the more she spent time with people at her level. All of them were bright and talented. Compared to them, my father might have looked unattractive to her. I liked Uncle Akihito, but I liked him as one of my mother's friends, not in the same way I liked my father. I liked my father and mother equally, so it was very shocking to me that my mother wanted to divorce him. I felt as if the ground below me was beginning to crack. That expression, I realized, actually fit my situation very well. I had to choose which side of the cracked ground I wanted to stand on. My mother told me to live with her at her new house. Her new house meant the house Uncle Akihito lived in. I thought a house was a sanctuary for a family. I believed that a house was a holy place where strangers couldn't easily enter. That was why I couldn't believe her. How could she let a stranger invade such a holy place so easily? Why do you hate my father? My mother looked down and didn't answer. I asked her another question. Why can't you stay with my father? I think that was the hardest and the most heartbreaking of all questions for my mother to answer. In short, my mother had cheated on him. She loved another man who was more attractive than my father. It was just that and nothing more. I knew more than anybody that it wasn't my father's fault. First of all, he decided to move from Hinamizawa to support my mother as much as he could. For him, nothing good had come from that. Actually, I think he had a very tough time since we moved to Ibaraki, but he volunteered to be her support and tried very hard to do that. I thought my mother appreciated his support. So, I took her decision as a betrayal. I told her that I disagreed with everything, including their divorce. I said it very loudly and made everyone in the store jump. In the store.
Yes, a restaurant is a store as well.
Fair enough. Sure, continue your relationship with Uncle Akihito, but don't divorce my father. I feel bad for him. I feel terrible for him. He has been doing nothing but support you patiently this whole time. How could you do such a cruel thing to him?
I get it from her perspective because she's a little kid, but I feel like that's more cruel actually.
I screamed as loud as I could. What's more cruel?
Staying with him. Rather than divorcing him.
Oh yeah, but as a kid you don't see it that way. Yeah?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't blame Reina for saying this, but...
And my mother answered. It's too late. Why? You haven't talked with my father about this, have you? It's not too late.
I'm pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
Can somebody quickly drop by here and perform surgery? Because I have this feeling like I swallowed a hot ball of lead. I've got this hot, heavy feeling like in my stomach, and I hate this so much.
Are you also pregnant? Pregnant, sorry.
Yes, Yugi, I think I am pregante. I'm pregny. I feel like I'm very far along, but somehow it's like a black hole happening inside my abdomen. Relationships are complicated, but from what I've seen so far, from what I know, fuck her.
Well, I'm curious how this will go, because I'm guessing the father maybe goes as far as to commit suicide, so he is out of the option, out of the question to live with.
No, that doesn't happen. No. Akihito breaks up with Reina's mom, and she loses the child. That's what's gonna happen. And she stays with Reina's dad.
Jesus fucking Christ, Dad.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We're already on the roller coaster of emotional horribleness. We're gonna go all the way.
Well, I agree with that part, but you can counter on the side.
Speak English. What do you want me to do?
That you can.
I'm not gonna
right
counter anything.
No, because I do think I think the father is out of the picture by suicide or dying. He's probably dead. Father dies. She still lives with Akihito and her mom currently.
Mm-hmm.
The mother does lose the child. I agree with that. I do not know how, but I think it's out of the picture. Saying Reina killed her is probably going too far, but I'll leave that out for now. Mom loses
Oh
the
my
child.
god! Oh my god! Is that why there's a Reina and a Reina?
It could very well be.
And is the...
But I don't want to... I don't think we might go there yet, but I don't consider it out of the question.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is it's horrible, it's dark, I don't want it to happen, but it is something I could very much plausibly see in the story.
Yeah, it can also explain some of her other personality swaps.
Yeah.
Like the little psycho in her. And I think they, like I said, I currently still live with them, but the relationship between Akihito and her mom's really bad. They keep fighting, arguing, and that's what wants her not to go.
Let's find out.
I'm pregnant. I don't know whether my mother actually told him about the divorce in person.
The divorce?
The divorce. A middle-aged woman who called herself a lawyer came to the house several times to talk to my father on my mother's behalf. She sometimes called him too. My father begged the lawyer to let him speak directly to my mother many times, but it never happened.
Fucking coward.
I could tell by the way they talked that he had no clue when my mother told him she wanted a divorce.
Oh my god.
That's kinda sad. Well, again, I'm not even sure if she told him in person.
Imagine you just randomly get a letter from a lawyer that says the person you love, that you lived with, that you thought... I mean, the relationship is kind of shitty, but you're doing whatever you can to support them, and then you get a letter saying, yeah, it's over.
Yeah. As of now...
That's worse than breaking up over text. Break up by lawyer is the toppest of tiers of shitty ways to end a relationship.
At this point, it also doesn't sound like he deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, we
Like
have very little information, but it seems like he's the good guy in this.
Yeah, like if he was an asshole, 100%. Like, do not, if you are like in an abusive relationship and you want to get a divorce because you married the asshole, do not tell him in person if you can, because that's gonna probably not end up too well. But like in this case, he seems like the good guy.
I want to think if he turned into some like addict, drugs, alcohol, doesn't matter, who just wasted away at home while Reina took care of things. I don't think Reina would have recalled the story like this.
Yeah.
It could be, but not necessarily, I don't think.
But the way she now took only seems acceptable in what I think most people can agree with would be like a shitty situation.
Yeah.
The lawyer told him not to meet my mother, not to call her at work, and many other things too. To top it all off, she told him not to see my mother ever again.
Fuck.
He wanted to talk to her. He called some of their mutual friends, but he only found out the name of the guy she was having an affair with and nothing more.
Welcome in, Dark Lord. Happy Friday.
How you doing?
Say happy because... How are you? Terms of a divorce are unclear. Very much.
I hope he at least got a lot of money out of it. And the shitty thing is, in divorces with a child in play, they will always favorite the mother.
Most countries do, yeah. Just generally. Yeah.
It doesn't even matter what the situation is, they will favor the mother. Like, he has an absolute disadvantage here. He asked me, do you know the guy?
Excuse you? Do you know the guy?
Oh, I was like, I said that. Now I get your problem. I told him I do. I also told him that he was a funny guy and had given me candy many times. I'll never forget how he looked when I told him that. He hit me for the first time. He hit me so hard that his handprint stayed on my cheek for a while. Then he fell on the floor and cried loudly. And then I started to cry too. I didn't cry because he hit me. I can understand that his emotions got too high
It
But
doesn't.
that is
it doesn't
still
excuse
unforgivable.
it.
Yeah.
I understand it. I don't condone it.
Yeah. Uncle Akihito was kind to me, so I liked him and talked to him out of courtesy. No, that wasn't it. Girls had to be kind to everybody. That's what I thought. But I was wrong. I learned in this world that there are people you should be nice to, and enemies you shouldn't be nice to. The enemies are the ones who would destroy my life with their very existence. The baby is an enemy. Whether they mean to harm me or not doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Reina is killing the baby. In the crib, probably.
They're like weeds growing in a flower bed. Dandelions are innocent, but they take all the nutrition for the tulips from the soil. That's why we have to pull them out. I never knew that, actually.
I don't want it to happen, but this is exactly the line of thought that leads to me killing my baby sibling. 100%.
The dandelions did nothing wrong.
She's gonna repeat this line when she kills the baby. I swear.
But they're the enemy. I seriously never knew that about dandelions.
Same, I like dandelions.
I like them too. Enemies are bad people. That guy was a bad person. I shouldn't have accepted him. I should have rejected him with everything I had. But by doing so, I might have been able to disrupt their relationship. By doing so, I might have been able to make my mother feel like their relationship was not going to work. If I tried to do so, my parents wouldn't have had to break up.
And that's the stage of being a child in a divorce where you start blaming yourself. The dandelions did nothing wrong, but... yeah.
They did something wrong. My father and I cried together, but we cried for different reasons. He must have cried because it happened so fast and didn't make any sense to him. I cried because I regretted that I let it happen when I had the chance to prevent it.
But you didn't. You never did.
My father stroked my cheek and opened his mouth to apologize, but he couldn't speak and just cried with me. He's probably gonna fall into depression, alcoholism. One day, the lawyer let me see my mother. My mother asked me to live with her at her house again. I didn't know what to say, so I just kept looking down and listened to her apologies. How did this work in the 70s? Because under 16 you should not even have a choice.
Maybe this is one of those cases where the mother who clearly wants to have the child actually leaves it up to the child.
I don't think that's even an option.
Apparently it is. I know how it works in Japan in the 70s.
No. Nice, fuck you money.
Plus that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
My father knew that I was going to see my mother on that day. So he handed me a letter and told me to give it to her. I don't know what he wrote in that letter. But for some reason I was able to imagine what kind of things he wrote when I felt it through the envelope. After all, the letter inside the envelope had a rough surface. He must have been crying while writing the letter, and his tears made the letter all wrinkled when it dried. My mother took the letter from me, told me that she'd read it later and was about to put it in her bag.
Going for the quadruple gut punch, that's a suicide note.
Wouldn't be shocking. Probably the same day still.
Usually custody around this time will ask the child which parent they prefer to live with. But the parents can also challenge that if they have good reason the child shouldn't be with one or the other.
Yeah, but with a child this young, she's
Yes.
like what, 8 here?
Ryukishi,
How old is she?
07, used to be a social worker. Yeah, probably has seen plenty of these cases.
Yeah, but I find it hard to imagine at that age they had a choice.
Are we going for the black hole of horribleness? Father writes suicide note, kills himself while his daughter goes to see the mother. Mother lives with Akihito. Reina moves in with Akihito and mom. Kills the baby.
No. I want to say they asked the child if they're around 15. Yeah, that makes sense. But am I misunderstanding that Reina is like 7 or 8 here?
We don't know that. The age has never been specified.
Yeah, I know, but that's how I...
Yeah, same. I also thought she was younger.
Maybe that's what I'm misunderstanding here. If she's like older, like 15, 16, I would get it. But I don't think she is here. But yeah, this actually makes sense, because if he now writes a suicide note and gives it to her, he can go like, hey, I'm dead, take care of her, basically, while she's already there.
Something like that.
And Reina isn't the one to find his body.
And then Reina links for Fire and Dark Souls. It could be, I swear, like with... The path to clinical depression in my mind is laid out bare. You know, the story just needs to walk the steps, and then I'll cry myself to sleep tonight. Hilariously, Akito is also the name of the emperor at this time, the crown prince. Maybe it's the same guy. Who knows?
I stopped her and told her to read it there. I wanted to see how she was going to take the last words that my father had left to her. But my mother didn't read it. She told me she wanted to read it alone later, and she put it in her bag. At that time, I realized. No, it was more than that. I should say, I knew, because it was so obvious. I knew that my mother was lying. She had no intention of reading my father's letter. She was going to throw it away after I was gone, but she lied just because she wanted to seem like a nice person in front of me. The slight curl in her eyebrows and lips told me that more clearly than anything else. At that moment, I finally knew something else. The guy she was having an affair with wasn't the only bad person. My mother was also a bad person. Since that moment, the existence of my mother disappeared from my world like dry ice evaporating. I didn't have to hesitate about whom to live with anymore. I don't want to go to your house. The Ryugu house is my home. I don't want to see you anymore. Please don't even call me. But there's no choice anymore because the father is gone. But Reina, if you live with your father, you won't have... At that moment, I hated my name for the first time in my life. Please, don't call me Reina ever again. I have to go now. Goodbye. Those were my last words to my mother. No, to the woman who used to be my mother. After that, I spent many days without feeling anything. I didn't know if the days were long or short. I didn't know which season I was living in. It was supposed to be nothing out of the ordinary, not having my mom around. But every time my father saw things that reminded him of her...
He hit me again.
Like her toothbrush, her teacup, or her favorite books, he'd shed tears, which left me frustrated. That's why I decided to completely remove her belongings from the house. I roughly threw her things into a black trash bag. Started to do so frantically. By the time I knocked down her wardrobe, threw her music box hard on the floor, and broke her mirror, my mind was already not working properly. When I tried to remember what happened after that, I feel disoriented. It's because the pills the doctor gave me back then made me feel disoriented and lethargic every time I took them. It seems that dullness hit me especially hard. Since every time I try to remember that time, it makes me feel disoriented and lethargic, just like the pills made me feel.
You know it's lethargic, right?
Lethargic?
Lethargic.
Oh. But obviously not, otherwise I wouldn't repeat it with every line.
It's a parfum moment.
Basically.
It's that one comic where a man picks up a crayon and says, "The color of her hair." I don't know that one, but it hurts my soul. So I'm happy I didn't know it.
I destroyed everything that smelled like my mother. But the thing I wanted to destroy the most might have been myself. Even after I threw all her belongings away, I still couldn't stop feeling regret, and I decided to blame myself in the end. Maybe I was thinking that I wanted to do damage to her reputation and successful life by destroying her daughter, destroying myself. When I was about to reach that very last resolution, I heard the footstep. Oyashiro-sama came to me.
I need to pee.
Now?
Yes.
Oh, fine. BRB, I guess.
We haven't taken a break yet. Also because there didn't seem to be a single good moment for it. And now my biology is taking that choice away from me. So...
BRB.
PRB.
We're back.
We are. Dark Lord is having a nice
tomato soup in a tasty pack of skimmer. Enjoy.
Ooh.
I kind of feel like tomato soup
The
again.
only thing that would make that even better to me is a grilled cheese on the side with a tomato soup.
Or garlic bread.
Or garlic bread.
Ooh,
Any
any
type of carbs on the side. Yes. Tomato soup is one of those things I had to learn to love. I used to hate tomato soup as a kid. Tifa, a few years ago, found this random recipe. A roasted vegetable tomato soup that I've really started to enjoy. Basically, here's how it works. Everybody can cook this. Even if you can't cook, you can cook this. You take any vegetables you have, onions, garlic, green beans, bell pepper, whatever you have laying around. You take that, you put it in a pot with some fat, you fry that. You fry it hard until it gets like charred, like crispy. Really a lot of color. Then you add tomato to that and then you blend that.
It's very nice.
Add some spices, some broth powder, some salt, pepper, cayenne, chilies, whatever you have, whatever you like. Trust me on this. Oh wait, yeah, you just had your wisdom teeth thing.
How are your teeth hole doing?
Of course, even if you wanted to, you can't have anything too solid. Sorry, I completely forgot about that. Still convalescing. Happy convalescing. I hope that's a different word for healing.
It's the... When did you say you pulled them? Yesterday or 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
The days are...
2 days ago now, I think.
Going through one another. How are you feeling now? I had all 4 of them pulled at the same time as well. And I felt like the first day was kind of meh. But after the second day, it all felt fine. Then it was just the holes that were annoying.
Yeah, we need to make sure to clean the craters left behind by the tooth removal.
But you also have the opposite horror stories where people feel shit for days.
Yeah.
So I think I was lucky.
Yes, definitely. But Tifa did take painkillers for a few days afterwards.
What? No, only the
Did
first
you
day.
not? Oh, lucky.
Only on day 1, and even then it wasn't that bad. The only thing that stayed was like the swelling of my face for a bit.
It was on Tuesday. Yeah, that's neither yesterday nor the day. Thank you.
What is it? Friday.
Still sore, I gotta take my medicines. Fair enough. Do that. I hope it heals fast.
Currently, I don't recognize my days anymore.
Same. We do one Monday stream and the whole week just feels weird.
It really
the
did.
whole schedule just is off.
Completely messed up the week. But there's also so much stuff happening, like everything blends into one.
Yeah, and then Oyashiro-sama returned.
Oyashiro-sama came to me. Oyashiro-sama told me to go back to Hinamizawa. Yes, all of this was because of his curse. Oyashiro-sama brought a curse upon the Ryugu family because we broke his rule and abandoned Hinamizawa. After I figured that out, everything started to make sense to me. All the crazy things that happened after my mother was gone. The curse of Oyashiro-sama did all of that to us. And then she suddenly picked her mother after all because her mother was going back and her father wasn't. It was Oyashiro-sama's voice that was telling us to come back to Hinamizawa. That's right. We should have stayed in Hinamizawa. Everything went crazy because we moved. We had to go back to Hinamizawa.
No, wait.
What do you think triggered this?
I'm beginning to think it's not a supernatural thing. I cannot explain why in chapter 4 young Rika completely predicted the murders that would happen. I don't know if that is some sort of mental illness that she said these things, and then because she had said those things, she put things into motion so that they would come true. You know, a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, Tifa, I predict that in the next 10 seconds I'm going to drink something from my cup.
Why did I know you were going to say that? Because I suddenly felt the need to.
Wow, it came true. Shocking. I don't know if it's that kind of thing, which... You know, we've talked about this before, that some people are just born evil. Maybe Rika is. Maybe Rika just has a split personality, where one is the cute little adorable Rika, and the other side, since birth potentially, is a vile, cruel murderer. Bad seed theory. If that's the name, then yes.
I disagree with that on Rika, but that doesn't...
But wait. I'm not done. This is bigger than that.
Okay, yeah. Because I don't see where you're going.
That would account for Rika being able to predict these things, because she isn't predicting them, she's saying them and then she makes them happen. That's not a prediction, that's an announcement. With everybody else so far from what we've seen, it appears to me that it is... I wanted to say some sort of mental illness or symptom of it, but I don't know if that's the right terms.
Mass hysteria?
All of... Not mass hysteria, but all of them are brought to the breaking point by something happening in their life. And then they try to make sense of that. And because of how shit the situation is, the only fathomable idea is that it has to be a curse. It has to be a higher being. Because there is no way life could just be this shit. There has to be something bigger. I cannot believe people would do this to me. I cannot believe I would be this unlucky. I cannot believe I couldn't do anything about it. There has to be a reason, goddammit. There has to be a reason to all of this. It cannot just happen randomly that my life sucks right now. And because they know about Oyashiro-sama's curse, their mind goes to Oyashiro-sama. Gives a target for the rage. Yes. What triggers it now is we have the entire family history happening. Now, Reina is at the point where she is suicidal. Let me find it. It happened a while ago.
She even made up her mind that she's going to live with her father. She realizes her mother is shit.
No. Where was the part where he hits her, she starts crying, I need to destroy my enemies, dandelions. So, the path is clear. Enemies need to be destroyed. My father strokes my cheek, can't apologize.
So there's nothing in here that made her suicidal.
Let me finish. My mother is lying. Where was the part where she goes home and throws everything away? Because I seem to be skipping over that.
I think that was before this. That was before she started talking about the dandelions and all of that, I think. Nope, later.
Then it happens way later. It just happened. Why am I so dumb? Wait.
Oh, here it is.
Wait, no, I'm confusing two things. Wait, where was it?
Just say what you're looking for.
I just told you she's suicidal. You were like, no, she wasn't.
She isn't. There's this one line where she says that she's depressed, basically, because she's just living life and everything seems... She doesn't know which seasons there are. But there's nothing that I saw as suicidal.
The more you talk into my ear, the harder you make it for me to focus on the text. I should have called it out when we were at that point. I didn't. I'm sorry. But it was there. Every time my father saw things that reminded me of him of her. Where was it? I destroyed everything that smelled like my mother, but the thing I wanted to destroy the most might have been myself. After I threw all of the belongings away, I couldn't stop feeling regret and decided to blame myself in the end. Maybe I was thinking that I wanted to do damage to her reputation and successful life by destroying her daughter, destroying myself. I'm taking that in the literal sense. Sorry for always scrolling back and forth. It's all blending together. Reina has just witnessed her entire life falling apart because of a shitty decision shitty decisions her mother has made. Her father is suffering. She herself is suffering. She is now destroying, throwing away everything that has anything to do with her mother, including considering herself.
I don't consider this as suicidal. I read this more as in...
No.
The fact where she starts to retaliate, like...
I cannot read it as
beating people up at
but...
school, becoming the bad girl to ruin her mother's reputation, as she says. Like, no longer be the perfect little daughter. And in that regard, destroy yourself by becoming this rebellious
Anyway, my point being...
Hey, if you can say your point, I can say mine.
I'm still on my point. You haven't let me finish it. I know
You've already been in on this for half an hour.
Yes, because it's a big point. Let me squeeze.
For fuck's sake.
The juice will be worth it. Let me squeeze. You could read it either way, in my opinion. Yes, and I decide to read it this way. No, I'm not pressing A. I need to explain this. The reason why all of these people find Oyashiro-sama as their curse, as their reason is because they learned there's a curse. It comes for you. You start hearing things. Things will be weird. And it's a punishment. These people are looking for punishments because bad things are happening. That's the connective tissue. The curse becomes, in a way, reality because you make it real. Because it seems to be the only thing that could work. For Reina, it's this situation. She wants to destroy everything that has anything to do with her mother, including herself. So, how could all of this be? The only reason why all of this is happening, why my life would be like this, is because we offended Oyashiro-sama. It can't be that my mother, who I loved so much, I hate her, but there's still part of me that loves her because she is my mother, right? That's just how that's just how the mind works. So she has to be influenced by something to make these decisions. It can't just have been a moment of selfishness, a lack of control, whatever. It has to be that. For Shion, the same thing. They took Satoshi away from her. Why would that happen? Because of Oyashiro-sama's curse.
Yeah, but she looked at Oyashiro-sama's curse completely different.
Yes. But she also went with that. And then she went into this whole thing where everybody believes it. Because things happen and people spread the myth.
Okay, so put the many words into small words now. What's your point exactly? The trigger is just a traumatic event happening to them.
Oyashiro-sama's curse is real, but it isn't a supernatural occurrence. It is culturally a thing they're all aware of, and the only thing this is not meant disrespectfully, their broken, shattered psyche can hold on to as the one thing to make sense out of it all.
But then it's not real.
Yes.
If I now start believing in pink elephants, and you start believing in pink elephants, that still doesn't make it real.
You can't say it isn't real, but it's supernatural. That's not how I mean it. Oyashiro-sama's curse exists, but not in the sense that a supernatural being decides you are cursed. there is a myth of Oyashiro-sama's curse that is being kept alive by people like Oryo Sonozaki. Something happens and then she goes, it's because of Oyashiro-sama's curse, keeping the spread of the myth alive. And then there is people like Reina who go through horrible, traumatizing shit, and their way of coping, of trying to make sense of it all, is to latch onto it's Oyashiro-sama's curse. Because Oyashiro-sama punishes people. My family has done things that deserve to be punished. My mother has done these things. Because my mother has done these things, Oyashiro-sama is cursing us. So the curse is a myth, it isn't real, it's a real myth. It's a legend, it's a tale. And whatever power it has over people, it only has because it's being used. Yeah, I think you said was a logical contradiction. Possibly, but I didn't choose my words carefully.
Most things he says, really, but...
It's a concept. It's a concept kept alive by tradition. It is a concept being used by the Sonozakis to stay in power. And because of its widespreadedness, because of its being known amongst the children of Hinamizawa as well, when something like this happens, they consider that a possible cause for all the bad things in their life. Thus, doing things that they believe are part of the myth, of a concept. Because now she goes, oh yeah, Oyashiro-sama's curse happens when people leave Hinamizawa. I need to go back to Hinamizawa.
It still seems a bit weird that everyone's trauma is kind of developing in the same way, if you ask me.
Well, the subreddit for atheism didn't exist back then, of course they go for the supernatural. But it makes sense. People want to make sense of things. And in a way, the bigger the thing is you try to understand, the more likely I want to say is that you get to the outcome, well, I can't explain it, so I'll go with the most likely thing. And I know there's Oyashiro-sama's curse, because the adults talked about it, it's happened, it punishes the bad people. My mother did bad things, we're being punished. This has to be the curse. It's like an equation.
Well, you ready to press A again?
Get back, get back, get back to where once you belonged. Lennon McCartney. Yeah,
too late
basically.
for that.
So all of this is because of the Beatles. There you go. Wow, I can't believe you would spoil it, Dark.
I never liked the Beatles anyway.
Plus, she is taking medication for her mental state. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying she is clearly in a bad spot.
Which also seems kind of random. Like, when did she start getting the medication? Why did she need it? Like, she wasn't at a point yet where she needed it?
Yes, she was. That again.
She's been taking it for a long time already.
Again, not spelled out, but implied. Yada yada yada, where was it? After that, I spent many days without feeling anything. I didn't know if the days were long or short. I didn't know which season I was living in. I take that as she is going through, I assume, clinical depression, where she becomes lethargic, in a sense.
Yes, but she already starts talking that she had pills way before that.
Yes, the days, I didn't know if the days were long and short. I didn't know what the seasons were. This probably kept for years.
Well, maybe a time span would wait her.
Yeah, seasons. I'm guessing at least 6 months. It's long enough time for your father, who's also in deep shit, to go, okay, I need to pull myself together. I need to pull my kid who is not feeling anything. I need to take my kid to a doctor and hopefully they can do something to help her. And this is the 70s.
The father doesn't seem like at any point that he would be capable of even doing that.
She just does.
I felt like some details here are missing, which I would have liked.
Hey Yugi, remember earlier when you reminded us of show and don't tell? Which you're perfectly right about, don't get me wrong. But this is what happens if you do a lot of show and very little of tell. Hello mommy, thank you for the resub.
Love. Thank you very much.
Thank you for showing us your love. and support and telling us about it as well.
Wait until you find out about the Rolling Stones. Well, I also don't really like the Rolling Stones.
No, you need to read the one before that. When I realized the Beatles were a group of men and not bugs, I stopped being interested.
I can fully get that.
Wait until you find out about the Rolling Stones.
Now I get it.
Double whammy. Keep in mind that Higurashi is a mystery story. It doesn't tell everything, otherwise it would ruin the narrative. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I said all of these things, and then by the end of chapter 8, a selfie of Ryukishi 07 will appear on screen where he goes, "Haha, tricked you, oyashiro-sama is real, gods exist in this universe, and you've been bamboozled."
I mean, it could be. I think in the end it's going to be the question whether there is a supernatural thing at play or not. And I'm still not 100% sure if it's fully not supernatural.
The only thing I cannot explain, feasibly I feel like explain, is Rika. How can she at 5 years old go, this person dies then, this person dies then, this person dies then, this person dies then, and then this happens?
I think I said it before, but I think Rika is the only supernatural thing in the story and somehow will bind everything together. And the rest probably will have a logical explanation. I had a whole thing on this, which I completely forgot, and I'm sure you didn't write down for me.
Thank you, Dark Lord, for the gift sub.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. More love.
Maybe if we keep reading this arc...
Yeah, we could have, but you know, Jack spoke for literally 40 minutes, it feels like.
Right, chapter 8 was being streamed on February 1st, 2026, right? At this pace, yeah. It'd be real funny if I explain things right after this. Yeah, it will be, if Tifa would read her text. I've been waiting for her for the last 15 minutes.
Excuse me? Also, I said 40 minutes, but you spoke for like 20. And we need to find a point to save at this point.
She's for installing right now.
I started feeling disoriented again, and a dull pain ran through my head. Might be a scream from within me telling me not to push myself too hard to remember any further. The house where we used to live in Hinamizawa was still there. My grandma already passed away, and the house was the only property she left for us. I remembered that I used to live in Hinamizawa, but all I remembered was that it was a village that I used to live in until right before I went to elementary school. I remembered the atmosphere of the village too, but that was all I remembered. I forgot the streets and even the names of close friends I used to play with. The neighbors knew that the son of the deceased woman had come back, divorced, but they didn't know us and we didn't know them. So it was almost like we moved to a new place. However, as far as I was concerned, it was still my hometown that I had to come back to. At first, everything was inconvenient compared to life in Ibaraki, and it was hard for both of us to adjust. But we renovated the old house, and it was only me and my father.
Now I get it. Do you think the point where she stops remembering what happened is the moment where she attacked the kids at her old school?
It has to be, because we completely skipped that, and that is just before they moved back.
So you would agree with me that Reina's memory only goes as far as her assaulting her classmates?
Yeah. Basically the whole bit after Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's where her memory started to become affected.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense.
That's probably where it was crazy Reina, because every time they swap into this different personality sort of version of themselves, they don't remember.
Yeah, it feels like the two different sides of her, because I don't know yet, I don't know better yet. They seem to be mindful of the situation, like they can just take over, seemingly, without there being like any gaps, but they don't retain full memory.
Life here seemed to make my father forget his pain from the divorce. Michio was very kind to me, and I started to get used to my new life too. I did everything around the house, and we gradually went back to a time when we used to live happily.
All of this also explains why she was so adamant about when Keiichi said, "Oh, I'll come by your house to meet your mom." And Reina was like, no, don't do that. I'll be super mad if you meet my mom.
I don't think she still lives with her dad though. Anybody can live a happy life. People sometimes say that some people are born to be unhappy, but I believe that's just an excuse for people who don't even want to try. I won't give in to that fate. I'll never give up trying to recapture the happy times that I lost. I'm going to become happy to the point where I don't even feel the happiness anymore. I'm not going to cry anymore. I'll never cry again. I used up all of my tears on that night my father hit me. The curse of oyashiro-sama is over because we came back to Hinamizawa. So I'm going to have a happy life from now on.
There's so much so wrong with all of his story. Also her saying this was the first time my father hit me. You know, you wouldn't say that if it didn't happen again.
Well, her father is definitely spiraling into an even worse depression, probably. But I did not think she still lived with her father right now. Or she's faking it, which seems to not be possible in a village like Hinamizawa.
Yes, it is.
If she really lives with her mom, for example. Or how can you fake living with your mom and dad if your mom's not in the picture in a city like, or in a town like this? That's not possible.
She never said that.
She's been talking to Keiichi about her living about her mom.
No, she didn't.
She even quoted the whole bit earlier, like, oh, if you talk to my mom.
No, Reina said, I met your mom while going shopping. And then he said, oh, is your mother anything like you? I'll come over to your house and meet your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
and she was like, oh, don't talk to my mother.
Yes, exactly. Because Reina hates her mother, not because she lives with her.
Fair enough. That's not necessarily...
Yeah. They moved back. Yeah, Tifa has some wires crossed, I think.
Yeah, but she moved back with her father.
Yes.
Her mother didn't move back.
Correct.
We don't know if she moved back.
Correct. Which is why she never said that.
Yeah, but I was thinking that she lived with her mom and...
Never said
the
that.
other guy. Well, that's what I assumed based on that conversation back then too. So the question is, who is she with now? Because everything until now was a flashback.
I think all of this is still a flashback because this chapter opened with her going, I will tell you a story.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
like
not a flashback
Inception.
in a flashback.
I can't believe Inception stole from Higurashi chapter 6.
We have just moved back to the current...
Flashback.
To the current flashback, not flashback 2.0.
Yeah. Also, I love how Dark Lord's windows came out broken because that's exactly what happened in the story. There's some more of a framing mechanism in a flashback. Potato.
That is true. I'm guessing this would be a good point to say.
I hear you. I don't disagree. Emotionally, I would like to go a little bit further.
What do you see as a little bit? We still have the kitchen to clean.
I think I will do that, as I've told you before stream. Your job is to look cute and go sleep. I think she's about to go home and then we'll get some actual answers.
More Higurashi!
I like it when you all help me bully Tifa. It's not bullying, it's suggest to Tifa what your preference was. Yeah, Reina and her dad renovated the old house. The mother wasn't mentioned in the story.
Yeah, but that's why I'm thinking where it is now, because she did say that before. But I thought in the current time she lives with her mom. So the question is, do it or we will be very disappointed in you. I hope you guys know that I will let Jack clean the kitchen alone after this.
I never.
I was going to help
said
you.
to Tifa before the stream, because she was like, "Oh, let's cancel stream because we need to clean up." I was like, I told her,
I'm just saying that's the
I'm
consequence
going to
of
mop
this.
the whole apartment.
And I will not.
I said that. I didn't say you have to do it or we do it. I said I will.
Yeah, but the kitchen first needs to be cleaned for that. Well, fine, it's okay. I'm just saying that's the consequence of your action, and I will not feel bad for it. But for that, more Higurashi.
Thank you, everybody.
All of a sudden, big raindrops. Blah 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 blah.
Let Jack be sweet to you. Exactly. Take my love. Thank you, Yugi.
All of a sudden, big raindrops hit the roof of the car, and I recovered my senses. It was still raining hard. It had already gotten dark outside. The shadows the table lamp created were very dark, and it looked as if there's nothing else around me. If I turned off this light, would everything in this world disappear? I turned off the light. Darkness swallowed me. But the cold air and the sound of rain didn't change a bit, and that made me realize I was still in this world. The curse of Oyashiro-sama. Did the curse of Oyashiro-sama do those crazy things to my family? Or did I convince myself it did as an excuse for myself because I didn't want to feel guilty about the divorce? Sometimes I'm not sure. Why look at me like that?
I just feel like it.
Since that time, Oyashiro-sama hasn't come to me. I sometimes feel like it was a delusion I created because I was mentally ill. But he did come at the time. I'm sure about that. Am I right, Oyashiro-sama? I wasn't happy after I left Hinamizawa, but I came back and I'm happy now. But where am I supposed to go now that I'm unhappy in Hinamizawa? Where? Stop it, Reina. Don't think that you're unhappy. I am happy. I will be happy. I can definitely be happy. Suddenly, I felt if this darkness swallowed me, I'd never be able to be happy again. I found the switch of the table lamp and turned it back on.
Time to start removing the enemies, huh?
When I looked at the clock, it was already past 11 p.m. I had to go home. I wouldn't have time to prepare my lunch for tomorrow. At least I'd have to set the timer on the rice cooker. It didn't look like the rain was going to stop anytime soon. I looked out of the window to see the rain, but could only see my reflection. I talked to that reflection in the window. I'm so glad that my father's happy. He'd been acting like he was dead for a long time. The smile on his face is a good sign that he's regaining his former happy life. He became miserable because of me. That's why I don't mind doing things for him until he regains his smile and we become truly happy.
The question is, what is she doing for him?
When I stay here alone for a while, it gives him some time to be alone with her. Plus, I don't have to fake a smile. But then, my reflection in the window tells me, Reina, you're such a good girl. You're kind to everybody and love them equally. You can make anybody like you. But did you forget something? In this world, there are people you should be kind to. And enemies that you have to reject with all you've got. I thought you learned that lesson. No, don't listen to her. My reflection is always mean. She always says mean things and makes fun of my worries. But she always tells me things that I can't say myself. Let's go home, Reina. To your home. Forget about the mean Reina and the mirror. I was a bit hungry by then. After all the desserts I ate, I still got hungry. I almost forgot. Rina-san brought me a shortcake. I've never had a shortcake from Angel Mort, but I bet it will taste good. I'd have to give my thanks to Rina-san the next time I see her. Rina-san speaks in a way that makes it very clear how she grew up, but I'm sure she's a good person. That's because she's so good to my father. It's the girlfriend. I did not see that coming. I did everything I could to make my father smile, but I failed. On the other hand, Rina-san can put a big smile on his face so easily. Okay, I did not see that one.
She's gonna kill her, isn't she? She called her Reina. R-E-I-N-A.
Well, it makes sense if her dad doesn't accept the new name. And goes like, hey, this is Reina.
Reina's dad has a type. But have you seen Rina? She has a star tattoo on her, like, pelvis. Oh, can we stop playing Higurashi, because I don't want to know where the story is actually going.
I think the star tattoo was only in the other versions, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's when I was playing with her.
Fair enough.
Not a good type, apparently. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it seemed he started with a good time. Until things happened. I have to thank Rina-san. I have to thank her for cheering up my father. But I don't know why. I just don't like her perfume.
I don't want to go into like hurtful stereotypes, but Rina works at a gentleman's club, right?
True, she was the manager of one.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying every person working at a gentleman's club is a prostitute. But it's also not unheard of. And
I mean, I doubt she can be the manager of a gentleman's club without it being, I think we already had this discussion, without it being more towards like a strip club or anything. Because if it's like the proper fancy gentleman's club, that's usually something led by so-called gentlemen as well. Like it's this male-only kind of...
Yeah. We've had it before. No, it's a hostess bar or something like that.
Yeah, but then it makes sense.
Yeah, but maybe the title manager also doesn't mean manager in the sense you are thinking of. You know, titles are a weird thing. True. Like nowadays we have things like customer success manager. I've talked to a couple of these, and I don't feel like they've made me more successful. You know? Just saying, they do have a job and they help you with that, and like they do have things that they do, but I feel like customer success manager is a title that's very, very out there, very broad.
But where did you want it to go that her perfume is because of her sleeping with people or being a prostitute?
Potentially.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe she uses a lot of perfume to mask other smells on her, which...
That could be.
You know, I'm not knocking her. She's doing what she's doing. Like, it is what it is.
Smell of seduction.
Maybe even that.
Well, let's see. Maybe if we get some Reina things in the tips.
Maybe she's using the same perfume as Reina's mother.
Could also be.
Hence the whole, I removed everything that smelled like my mother. I don't like her perfume. It makes me sneeze.
You might actually be onto something, yeah.
Yeah, writing that down.
You are, yeah.
Awesome, wonderful, super smart. Rina uses the same perfume as Reina's mom.
Yeah, I think you are onto something there.
My summer vacation picture diary. That sounds so cute. That's
guessing Reina?
Yeah.
Today I went to a swimming pool with my mom. Uncle Akihito came with us too. I don't like him because he's sometimes mean to me, but he's a very kind and funny old man. He told me to call him Daddy for that day because he was going to play with me at the pool like he was my daddy. My mom called him Daddy, so I did too.
Oh my god, that's ew, no, not immediately one after the other. Come on, no.
It's to make her adjust.
Is it though? I misswallowed my spit.
It better be.
Yeah.
Uncle Akihito looked very happy and gave me a lot of money. I never had an uncle like that.
Did you call him daddy?
Yeah, that's probably the mistake I made, isn't it? My mom looked very happy, and it made me happy too.
I'm sure.
Also at the swimming pool.
I'm sure when she calls him daddy, he gives her money too.
I want to play with him again. I hope my dad can come with us next time.
Like, lines like this, I just feel the sting in my heart.
I still think it's the restaurant that threw me off, but I'm not feeling that emotional yet.
Fuck you. Premonition of rainy days.
Still rain, you think?
Yeah.
I opened the window, placed my cushion nearby, and prepared to enjoy the weather. But she came over and disrupted my peaceful evening. She always ruins my time of solitude. I don't think this Rena. You look pleased. Oh, that's right. You ate lots of your favorite sweets today. This girl loves sweets more than anything. I like them too, but I can't eat like she does. It'd give me heartburn if I ate the amount she ate today. I never even knew what heartburn was until like way past my teenage years.
Until she experienced it.
These little kids are all like, oh, I'll get heartburn if I eat so much candy. She seemed to be very happy, so I'll leave her alone for a while. I've been making my favorite hot and salty food for the past few days, so she must be quite pleased today. It was a very fun day for me too. I just wanted to enjoy the memory of the excitement I felt today by sitting here quietly, enjoying the sunset. But when I looked up at the sky, I saw some thick clouds forming there. The wind was a bit cooler than usual. It might start raining soon. People say that when deep-sea animals come up to the shallows, it's a sign of a big earthquake or a tsunami. We saw a very rare fish that dwells in deep water in the shallows today. Oarfish?
Yeah, probably. I had to think for a second, yeah.
I think it's called oarfish. Just as the ancient stories of sea monsters say, people hate deep-sea animals and tend to interpret them as omens of the disaster.
Did you say almonds of disaster?
Almonds.
Okay.
I
believe Tifa, but somehow I heard almonds. I was like, almonds of disaster. That would be a great name for a rock band.
When I repeated it, I was pretty sure I said almonds, but now I can't unhear almonds either.
Yeah.
Almonds.
Almonds of disaster would like.
Oh, the American pronunciation. We had this whole discussion once. How
with Fodia, almonds.
It was
almonds.
I forgot what it was.
It's almonds to me. It's like aluminium. It's almonds.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
Almonds? All almonds.
I don't want all of them. I just want one. Pronunciations are funny. See weird fish, tsunami afterwards. Makes sense, kind of.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah. Almonds of disaster. If you have a nut allergy. Plus that. Almonds of disaster could be like a rock band that makes kind of like rock, but like rock songs, but with like fun lyrics. I imagine Jack Black being in it.
Yeah, kind of. I would actually think that's a pretty cool band name. If anything, an album.
Or an album name, yeah.
Yeah.
Go down south and get them to pronounce oil.
Wow.
What?
Next time you stream, I need you to pronounce that.
Don't they just say gasoline? Hey! Some people would L. Yeah.
Oil. All.
Weird L. I can also see that. I also say all.
Oh. That seems more awkward than oil.
I'll stick with my gasoline joke because two different words for it. So,
It didn't matter if they showed up alive for that. Huh. I said something interesting just now. Even if they showed up alive for that, it was an omen of a disaster. Oh, it might start raining soon. Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me. I'll get the laundry. I grabbed the basket and went outside to take the laundry in. Suddenly it makes more sense for this to be Satoko.
But Satoko would make more sense, but also it doesn't.
It's probably Rika. It's probably Reina, but still. It doesn't feel like Reina either.
I think this is Reina and Rika hanging out together before Reina left Hinamizawa.
Oh, could be. I forgot what the title of this chapter is. Something with picture book?
No, that was the previous one.
Oh. The clouds were getting darker. I normally like rain, but I didn't think I'd enjoy it today. Oh, we're gonna find out now?
Premonition of rainy days.
Doesn't...
Who was Rika talking to? Because... Now, wait a second.
I don't like those comments, because that means it's probably not Reina.
She always ruins my moment of solitude. You ate lots of your favorite sweets today.
I've been making my favorite hot and salty food. Is that a hint? Because it doesn't ring any bells.
I just wanted to enjoy the memory of the excitement I felt today.
That does feel like... That bit does feel like Reina.
It might start raining soon. We saw very... It has to be somebody who knows Rika, likes sweets, and went somewhere with her where they saw a very rare fish that dwells in the deep water in the shallows.
All of them like sweets.
Do you think it's Oreo?
This does not read like Oreo at all.
How would we know? Have we ever had any story from Oreo's perspective as far as we know?
That is true, but this seems a bit too... I don't want to say childish, but... childish. I wouldn't say this reads like a 90-year-old woman. Oreo? Yeah, that's her name. Oreo. Spelled differently, but...
The pronunciation is basically that, yeah. I'll save again. Oh! During my solo stream of Mega Man Powered Up, the game didn't save. I was sad about that. Triple save. The one time I don't manually save in a game on stream, and that happened. Triple saved.
You jinxed it yourself, honestly.
I did, yeah. I invited that. From now on, every stream will be slightly longer because I will make you watch me save the games multiple times.
Also, I've made the same expression so much today that I feel it on the inside of my lip. Like, it's sore on the bit where if I do this...
You're welcome.
It scrapes my teeth on the inside. There's been a lot of...
You're welcome.
Like, I have 2 sore lines here.
Yeah.
Just
life in general today because it was a weird day, or me?
No, just life in general.
Okay, I was expecting her to go, yeah, no, just you, Jack, actually. Everything else was a piece of cake compared to listening to you yap on and on, but...
Even at work, I made that expression a lot today.
Mm.
But it's kind of funny that I only just realized it now that it's from that.
Everybody do it with us. But yours looks cuter, I think. I cannot do this without also doing the sound. The Satoshi. Yeah, that's my review for today's stream. The more getting to know bits and pieces of Reina from the perspective of mostly Keiichi. Was nice. She was a quirky but cute character. I liked her. There it is again. Cursed. But getting parts of a story and now the background story from her perspective, I just want to offer her a hug.
Well, I think everyone in this town can use a hug.
Yeah, but we don't know everybody's story. We know hers. So, yeah.
Well, it also looks like you'll not be full main character Kun again. Because I think we're gonna swap more and more towards Reina.
I'm okay with that.
Wow.
Yeah,
imagine yawning on stream.
The idea of having to listen to talk to Tifa be the main character again, just my body can't. No, it's been a long day. Sorry.
Some people need a hug around the neck though. They definitely do, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a couple, yeah.
I can fully envision this. I can fully envision sitting there, standing there in the sunset at the trash heap while Reina is telling all of this, and then just quietly crying and giving her a hug. I think that's what I would do. It's like, what do you say to all of this? Like, where do you begin?
Well, nothing really. This is just where you listen and comfort.
Yeah, hence I would cry and give her a hug. Like a really tight one.
Trip over the restaurant pictures. It's a distraction.
I'm sorry, Reina. We didn't say it, but we all kind of, I think, unanimously agreed that we would just be supportive and listen to you. But you said your mother took you to eat those parfaits. Could you explain? Could you remember for us what did the restaurant look like exactly? Because I'm somehow imagining this really just like run-of-the-mill kind of restaurant. And could you explain a fancy high-end restaurant that kind of was there at a pinpoint moment that destroyed your life?
I'm just saying it completely took me out of that story. Any bit of sadness I might have felt was completely gone ever since then. I'm just saying.
I understand it.
Like now all of this could have read as a little kid happily frolicking around in a field on a summer day, sniffing dandelions while she's at it. Tifa hates restaurants. No, Tifa hates fancy restaurants pretending that they're not. That's very specific.
And thus, Tifa hates a lot of things like Japanese fancy restaurants, Samsung TV remotes, trackpads on laptops, gnomes with TMNT heating, plushies, caterpillars, sun colors, at least half the things I love, tomatoes, hedgehogs, sushi, every single member of the X-Men, soup, all rap music, Dr. Dre specifically, Magneto's outfit, pina coladas, and Dr. Pepper.
What are you gonna do when you hit the character limit?
Make a second comment. You will, eagle-eyed viewers will notice that I've added Japanese fancy restaurants, and as per our earlier conversation, I've removed Skinner because I hate him too.
Oh, wow.
I'm a man of my word. Rude. It's fine. You want to be back on the list of things that Tifa hates?
That is even ruder than putting him on there in the first place.
Damn!
I know, right? There's no burn heal that can heal this damage.
Walk it off. I want to say I've improved the list because I took it off because she doesn't really hate you. It has nothing to do with me.
It's okay, Skinner. We're coming to the UK in 2 weeks. We can just ditch him and go somewhere ourselves.
Like you did last time.
Yeah, exactly. And why did we do that last time? Exactly because of reasons like this.
So you want to do that with a person who has you on list on the internet that she hates you?
I didn't even have a work trip.
It's too late. The pillowcase is already stained.
With tears.
I didn't expect it to have that kind of reaction for you. if I had known that, I wouldn't have done it. With the stuff you usually type in our chat, I'm just saying. Oh yeah, Tifa, do you also hate Nightcrawler?
What's Nightcrawler?
A character in X-Men. I tried to do exclamation mark Nightcrawler in Google. That's not gonna happen.
Well, he already sounds cooler than... I was gonna say Dr. Dre, but Dr. Dre is not from...
Are we going with the first few X-Men movies Nightcrawler or comic book Nightcrawler?
Oh, he's the blue guy with the tail.
You have no idea how little that narrows it down.
Oh,
we're talking about the middle. I'm talking about the middle one. This one. And
that looks like Asterion.
And I want to say it's black in the movies. In the first two. That's not blue. Yeah, legendary black X-Men who produces audio waves. No. Nightcrawler in the comics is blue, yes. Navy blue?
I mean, the image you're clicking on.
X-Men movie Nightcrawler is supposed to be blue?
Maybe that's just a bad image.
Nightcrawler Alan Cumming.
See, he's blue.
Okay, fine, it's the lighting. He's very clearly navy blue, yeah.
Yeah, the image Jack clicked on, he was black.
If you shine a light on him, you can tell that he is navy blue. I would say very dark blue. In the first picture I had opened, I'll post a picture on Discord later. He is very much black because there is no blue hue to the color they put on him at all.
I have no opinion on this. What's he called? Nightcrawler?
I also see versions of this very same picture with a blue hue, so it could just be that it's like filtered.
I like his tail.
Yeah, he looks like an entry level like demon kind of thing.
That's what she said.
That is what she said, yeah.
That's why I said it.
Kurt Wagner. Wait, he's German. Oh yeah, Nightcrawler is German.
He's German.
Austrian or German?
Nightcrawler doesn't sound very German.
German? German. Yes.
Then why is it called Nightcrawler?
Because Kurt Wagner doesn't exactly instill fear in your enemies. Nightcrawler
it said Spinnenmann. On the article you just closed.
What?
Go up. There are notable aliases. Spinnenmann.
Aliases. They gave him the literal German translation of Spider-Man as an alternative name at some point? What the fuck?
Oh, he's Bavarian.
Ew!
Does he also speak Bavarian?
No.
Does he have the Bavarian accent?
Hard no. Bavaria is where I draw the line. It's basically Austrian. But Wolverine also doesn't really sound Canadian. What's your point, Tifa? You know what sounds even less intimidating? Like... Google Wolverine, not X-Men, the animal. Tifa. Let's do this.
I thought it was German because of his surname.
There, that's a Wolverine. It looks like an angry cat had sex with an angry raccoon and they had an even angrier baby.
Don't forget the ferret. That's like ferret. Ferret with claws.
Oh, I found a pic. I need to post it on Discord. I saw a picture from the Bristol Zoo apparently, where a Wolverine gave birth and it's carrying its baby, but it's like it has its mouth over the baby's face, like not like a cat carrying it in the neck, but like chomp. It's adorable.
Yeah, those look cute. They look cute.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like something you'd be afraid of, right? It's more like I would pet that.
I mean, he does look, he can give you a nasty little bite. I would still pet it. I would absolutely still pet it.
See? Although saying that, I think I remember saying something about Bavaria in X-Men 97. Nah, Bavaria is in Germany. I mean, geologically and geography-wise, yes, but
I think Bavarians even consider themselves their own.
A lot of them do, yeah. They've once or twice tried to
gain independence.
Yeah, but they're even called Freistaat Bayern, as in free state of Bavaria. It's not a. It's part of Germany. Like,
I would sign them off. They can have their independence.
Wolverines are honey badger bear wolves. Yeah, fair.
That looks good. I wouldn't see bear or wolf, but I do see angry ferret.
Yeah, angry thick ferret.
Angry ferret with claws. Yeah.
Oh, there's a hair spiraling through the air.
Oh, yeah. No, I see it. That looked very weird because I thought it was attached to you.
Yeah. Wolverines are absolutely ravenous. Do not the Wolverine. But why not? Why can't I pet it? I want to pet it. They look like they would enjoy it.
If I see one, I shall skip it.
So is it like Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland? No. German history, how Germany became a unified country is so weird. Like, if you look up a map of what later became Germany in like 18 something, it's crazy. It was like super tiny city-states all being independent, and eventually they all got unified. Then of course we had Germany being split into East and Western Germany, and then reunified 45 years after the fact. I think 45. It's a patchwork kind of thing.
It's just sewn together.
Yeah, it's not as recent as the history of Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, as far as I remember, but older than that, before that. People are scared to be near Wolverine than any other carnivorous animal. They're not hippo level though.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I would still like to pet a hippo too.
Same. Hippos are adorable.
They're kind of cute.
Again, hippos look adorable, hippos are adorable, but hippo will kill you if it wants to.
Yeah.
Because hippo mouth is like a hydraulic press. Like, if it bites, it will crush.
I mean, I'm sure there are some hippos you can pet. I mean, some of the zoo hippos look like you can probably
They
pet
look
them.
super pettable.
They look super pettable. Yeah. But I think the problem with hippos is that they're... And Mudang, I mean...
Yeah, preferably tiny hippos. Because they're tinier, therefore they're less strong. You know, they're still strong, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure if Mudang went for full tackle, it would break my leg. But there's a difference between how heavy is a pygmy hippo, I think they're called. It's like, I'm guessing like 400 pounds when they're fully grown.
I have no clue.
Like tiny,
I don't even know what a big hippo weighs.
Chunky. Wait.
Besides heavy.
How heavy is Mudang? That's a question lots of people ask.
Oh, that's nothing. 32 kilos.
I was close. Adult pygmy hippos can weigh between 350 and 600 freedom pounds, also known as scientifically 160 to 270 kilograms. That will definitely break your legs if it tackles you. But that's still better than a big ass hippo weighing multiple tons.
Yeah. You know? But I wonder how that works, because I think the main problem of hippos is that they're extremely territorial, which is why they get so aggressive so fast.
Yeah, they're also really fast and freakishly strong.
But that doesn't really, the territorial bit doesn't seem to be as bad in a zoo. So I want to say...
They're used to the people then.
Yeah, they're used to the people, so I want to say maybe there's a chance to pet one.
I want to say, for better off, I mean, I have two hearts beating in my chest about zoos. On one hand, I understand the whole animal conservation part. On the other, it's a zoo. It's not like them living in the wild. I just thought about this the first time, but I have a feeling that any animal you can find in a zoo has to have like a I'm living in a zoo mindset, because if it doesn't, it will probably just die from depression.
I mean, I think a lot of animals in zoos are depressed.
Yeah.
Especially if you look at how bored they are and how they start to act in the zoo. Like they go...
They'll just go nuts.
They go mentally insane.
And wither, shrivel up and die in the end, because that, like, Some of them just aren't made for us.
But hippos are some of the only animals where if I look at them, I can think, oh, they seem
chill
in the zoo.
They just seem to be happy, just being lazy, just standing around, swimming, eating.
I also don't recall how they are in the wild, if they just chill all day, lay in the sun, fight if needed.
Well, until they spot you and you seem like a threat, and then they start running at you at the speed of a car.
Yeah, basically.
And then they will chomp on you, and then you die.
Looked it up. Pygmy hippos hippos react to people the same way 80% of animal life would. Run away, leave them alone unless surprised, or continuously provoked. Yeah,
makes sense. I mean, that's also how I move through life, basically.
They're still the smaller animal.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to be a little bit less aggressive out of self-preservation.
Definitely.
Like a hippo, what you're gonna do to a hippo, you know, like a full-grown one.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree. It's not like a guinea pig well, even a guinea pig can bite you. Again, same thing, you know, like if you corner them.
They have nasty
teeth.
Do that. But I don't like guinea pigs. Guinea pigs can be on the list of things I don't like. It's one of the few animals I really don't like. Do I wish them harm? No. Will I be nice to them? Yes. Do I like them? No.
Why do you hate guinea pigs?
They've always annoyed me from
Is
a very young age.
Is it their cute chirping sounds when they are excited? The high pitch meep meep.
Yeah, the high pitch. They're always being so scared. I don't know. I don't like.
Of course, they're tiny.
There's no the tiny things like
you
pigs always seem so dramatic.
50 times their size.
They seem so dramatic, but not in the cute way.
Tifa, if a giant that's 100 meters tall suddenly showed up and bent over to try to pet you, you would also freak out.
And after all of that, they're not even soft.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. They are rougher.
My guinea pig was soft.
They are more.
Stupsi was my first pet. I had a pet guinea pig. She was adorable and cheeky, but never. Twice, I think she bit me.
There's something
not
about guinea pigs that annoys me.
I was a kid. I like patted her too hard or something when I shouldn't have. She was trying to get away. I patted her. She bit me. Not like cut off my finger, but just like.
It's usually how things work.
You know, regular hippos are known as the most dangerous and aggressive land mammals of the planet.
Yeah.
Most.
They moody.
Like, I don't know, but I have a feeling it's because people don't expect it. Because, you know, people learn tiger, dangerous. Hippo, cute.
I think it's well known that hippos are dangerous by now.
No, it's not. Not enough.
Well, you also don't encounter a hippo that often on most sides of the planet.
Yeah, I don't think there's many Disney movies about how strong and dangerous hippos can be. But there's multiple about lions.
There's what's a movie called? Return to the Wild? No.
Mufasa.
No. It's the movie where they live in the zoo and they escape and they go back to
Madagascar.
Oh, Madagascar. Why did I say Return to the Wild?
I don't know, because that's the plot. Spoilers. Sorry.
There they make it very clear that the hippo is extremely strong too.
Yeah, but not threatening.
No,
just
that's
strong.
true. Yeah, that is true.
Guinea pigs make funny noises. I agree, but Tifa don't, and Tifa sucks. So, don't mind her. How's the hippo seen as dangerous in Madagascar?
Not dangerous, but strong. They just forgot the dangerous part.
Tifa forgot about that part not being in there. You know what is also strong but not dangerous? Skinner and Benjima. Do you want to do tic-tac-toe? Which one we're gonna rate? Do you want to flip a coin?
Tic-tac-toe? Huh. Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's the same thing. I'm gonna quickly draw a thing.
Oh, wait. We can't start until you say who you are.
Well, I pick Skinner because I don't hate him.
Oh. Tifa doesn't deserve to tweet.
Yes! Oh my god, that's a perfect onomatopoeia. Weet. Yes, exactly.
More for you guys.
Adorable. And then you go and you pet them behind their tiny little ears because you can just do that like a little pinch. Don't actually pinch, but just like you do like this, like you're dropping salt thingies like behind the ears and like tweet.
Come, rock, paper, scissors.
Huh. Skinner wins. Sorry, that's offensive to British people. Skinner wins. If you cannot stick around for the raid, please check out Skinner. Whenever it's convenient for you, you can peruse this link that I have just posted, or you just look at the screen and type it yourself, or you just stick around for the raid if you can.
And don't forget to also check out Benjima.
That is true. I like Benjima, especially right now, because I don't need to remember where to use numbers instead of letters when I type his name. It's convenient for people like me. Again, same applies here. You should check out Benjima. We're streaming together, we're gonna play some Tekken 8.
You gonna join?
No, I have to clean the
kitchen. Well, you have all night to clean the kitchen.
We can only raid one
when
person.
I wake up.
If I could double raid, I would raid both, but has to be one. Good enough. Thank you all for being here, Tifa.
Same to you as well.
I did not start the raid yet.
I was gonna say, I pressed the button.
Thank you, Saribot. That's very sweet of you as well. Thank you. Good use of computers. I'm gonna press this button.
Wow.
You save the line, quick.
I forgot the line. No
Thank you everybody for
stress.
your notification. We'll be back on Sunday with more Higurashi. Please stick around for it if you can. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.